Hey, you guys. Happy Friday.
Yep, it's Open Lines Friday.
Here we are. I know, it's just like the Art Bell show.
Yep. They're starting to pile in. Got about 9 or 10 of them. There was 10 a few minutes ago. No one slipped out. They'll be showing up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just on Open Lines Friday, you can bring up anything in the comments section. We can talk about it. If you have any questions about any of the cases, blah, 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 blah. You're not stupid. You know what I'm talking about. Well, anything you want, we will talk about today.
So
I'm fucking tired.
Yeah. Well, you got more sleep than me, though, I think, right?
Yeah, but I rode an hour and a half to the VA and an hour and a half back. I spent on fucking all day was on a fucking motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Make it sleepy.
Because I woke up at like 4 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep for whatever reason.
Yeah, like you do.
Like I do.
Yeah.
I'm getting insomnia in my old age. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You get sensitive.
What are you talking about?
You get real sensitive. Fucking a cat will fucking run across you and you'll wake up. Or fucking if I say something in my sleep, you'll go, what, huh? Like, go back to sleep.
Well,
you're never tired.
Huh?
You don't ever really seem to be tired.
I'm tired all the time. I'm just so used to being tired that it doesn't register as being tired just because I'm just used to being tired all the time. But, well, no, I woke up this morning because I had to pee.
Is that what it was?
And sometimes, like, and then, you know, I got back in bed and then I couldn't go back to sleep.
Okay.
Sometimes it's too hot in the room. Sometimes, you know, Pookie jumps on my head. It doesn't bother me. I mean, she just wants to come in and make biscuits on somebody. So I guess she gets lonely in the middle of the night. And I can hear her munching on her little treats over in the corner. But, you know, I don't know what it is. But I think I fell back to sleep for like half an hour or something, but not really. And then at like a little past 7, I just got up and got on my damn exercise bike like I do.
Got DJ Maniac in there saying we don't need to make a call-in show. He can call in right now on Facebook Messenger. Do we know how to even use that?
Well, I know how to use it, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't know how it would go through OBS. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we don't know what would happen if you called, bro.
Yeah, I don't really know. Should I show Bee's Nest sent? It was Bee's Nest, right?
Bee's Nest sent this. I don't think he's on.
Yeah.
I don't think he's there.
Should I wait until he's there before I show? Because he was like, well, you have to wait until.
Yeah, when he's here, we'll show it. Bee's Nest sent us something from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I put a picture of it on Instagram. Sort of. I didn't like show the whole thing, but
we can always show it again.
Yeah.
All right.
So he sent me this classy fucking thing.
Yeah, this thing's classy as shit. It is a shot glass with some weed on the front of it.
Or maybe that's
maybe it might be agave.
I think it's agave plant because I just like glanced at it quick and I was like, it looks like a pot leaf, but I think it's agave.
And then on the top of it, it's got a Mexican dude with his pants down, fucking nearly falling into the glass. When you take a shot, your nose goes in fucking dude's ass.
Right into his tank.
Yeah, he's got fucking balls and fucking. You show it to him.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm not sure. Yeah. Will the YouTube algorithm think this is like nudity?
I don't know.
Because I'm not really sure if you can tell what it is, but it's just kind of like use your imagination.
Show it to the camera.
I didn't want to get too close just in case it thinks it's porn, but yeah, I like the way the little Corona bottle is kind of like just stuck to his thigh, sorta.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Yeah, we've all been there. Well, you know, not really, but.
I guess he's fallen into the shot glass.
I guess so, but like I said, I'm trying hard to imagine a scenario where this might have happened. Like this dude ended up in this particular predicament.
I don't know.
But I think that he's just there, like I said, because then when you drink out of it, like your nose just goes right in his ball sack.
Yeah, I guess so.
And everyone will think it's funny. So you know what I mean. That's how that goes. Oh my God. All right. So yeah, you've been gone most of the day. You went to the VA.
Yeah.
I haven't been anywhere except for the liquor store. I've just been working.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I'm gonna drive to Ocala and see my mom and my sister.
Spend the night there?
No, I don't know. We'll see. She asked me if I wanted to, and I was kind of like, well, I'll see how long. Because I don't really like to drive back from there in the dark because there's not, like,
Just spend a night.
Cell phone.
Just spend a night.
I don't know. I might.
I mean, they're never in town.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I think my sister's going to stay over because she's going to get there tomorrow, and then she's going to drive back to Atlanta on Sunday. So she's just going to stay at their house overnight. So I don't know. So maybe I'll stay as well. I'll take stuff with me, and then I'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
When I
That's
get
how
there.
you do it.
I mean, it's nice, though, because the house we moved to is actually closer to my mom's house than our old one. Not hugely. I think it's like 20 miles closer. So I think it only takes an hour to get there instead of like an hour and 40 minutes like it used to. But that's nice anyway. But like I said, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm always kind of nervous about driving there at night because there's not a lot of cell phone reception. And it's kind of out in the middle of the Ocala National Forest. So, you know, you don't want to break down and then, like, be the first act of a horror movie kind of situation. It kind of seems like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Trying to get this vodka to wake me up.
Yeah, you need to wake up. Wake up a little.
Yeah. Looking back here at the set.
Yeah. I need to get, like, some more tables and shelves and shit like that. I need more things to put things on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like my shelves are packed full of stuff, and I've still got a bunch of stuff that's just kind of like sitting around on the floor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't really afford it right now. I kind of want to do what I wanted to do. I need some more frames for some of my other shit too, like to put up there. But I thought maybe some of those little cube things that you mount on the wall that you can either use like just to put stuff on or use them for books or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, John Smith says, sounds like the start of a horror movie. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What's the saying?
Topics for rando discussion. Let's see. Okay, one of these is funny. How to make a woman want you even when you are MGTOW.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you should read the fucking...
How to build a chorizo torta. Okay.
How to make a woman want you when you're MGTOW.
Yeah. The Zen of Justin's He-Man doll. Oh, yeah. Fucking, I remember that shit. Which serial killer had the most interesting hobbies?
Hobbies related to the serial killing or just
Yeah.
hobbies in general?
Yeah. It's funny. He's talking about Justin's fucking He-Man doll. Maybe I mentioned that on another show.
If you did, I don't remember.
He had all kinds of fucking He-Man dolls. When we were kids, back in high school up in Trenton, Michigan, my best buddy, fucking Steve, he was a trip himself, man, that guy. But he was a legend. And then his little brother was Justin. That fucking Justin tore the whole fucking house apart. After his parents got divorced, he just left his mom was just left in this damn house. In fact, didn't even have any damn doors on the cupboards. It fucking the whole house was ruined, man. And it was just because of Justin.
Wait, he just ate everything?
He just fucking destroyed everything.
He was like a human goat?
He was just super rambunctious. And I guess because he was the baby of the family, he just got whatever he wanted, you know. And he was a trip, man. Although he outgrew it, evidently, he just became normal.
Well, I hope so. You don't really want an adult man like he's, you know, he comes home if he has a wife or something like that. He's like, you've eaten every single stitch of furniture in this house.
Yeah. It's funny, man.
I make fun of Pookie all the time because she chews on that table, and I'm just like, Pookie's eating all the furniture in the house.
He carried around this little doll of a mouse, like it might have something to do with Chuck E. Cheese, and he called it Dwampaw.
I remember you telling me
Dwampaw,
that.
yeah.
I remember you telling me.
Dwampaw, and he would talk to it in Dwampaw's voice, and we'd talk back to it. And fucking me and Steve would be like, "Wow, man, that's some creepy shit." and Steve would fuck with him. Ask Dwampaw. Ask Dwampaw. He goes, no. Ask Dwampaw. Ask Dwampaw. Just fucking funny. It was like something out of a horror movie, actually. You know, like, when you think about it, you know, like
the creepy kid. Kind
like
of
the
shit.
creepy kid thing, you know, like out of Amityville, you know, Jody.
Yeah.
Yeah, his version of Jody was Dwampaw. Dwampaw.
You scared Jody.
Dwampaw. Yeah. I fucking remember all about that shit.
Oh my God.
And he had all these little fucking He-Man things. He was probably about, I don't know, Graham could probably remember. I have a hard time placing kids' age. maybe he was about 6 or 7, probably, at that time.
Okay.
He was fucking rambunctious as shit.
Yeah, my mom used to babysit a kid like that because she had she ran a daycare out of our house for a while, and we had probably 5 or 6 kids, I think. And one of them, what was that kid's name? Chad.
Yeah.
Man, that kid was just fucking. Yeah. You couldn't turn your back on him for a second.
Yeah.
Dude'd be like hanging off the goddamn ceiling fans.
Yeah.
If you like, you know, and I think actually at our house he was like climbing all over something and fell and broke his fucking collarbone.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, me and Steve I guess we were probably, at the time that I'm talking about, I think we were juniors. Because I did my senior year back in Brazil. We were juniors at this time, and fucking, and he was jealous of us. You know what I mean? So he was constantly trying to be better than us at something, Justin, all right? And his whole fucking thing was Nintendo. He had the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
The NES.
Yeah.
And he was winning Zelda. All right, and he'd sit there and beat Zelda, and he would fuck with us about, yeah, well, you didn't finish fucking Zelda. You know what I mean? And fucking.
That's the only thing that I can do that you guys can't do.
But Steve would start fucking lying. Okay, we'd start lying, and I'd help him lie. Just, no, we finished it. No, when did you finish it? Finish it while you were asleep, dude. Oh, no, couldn't have been, because you know. And he'd start calculating in his mind, you know, if there was enough time for us to beat Zelda. And he goes, well, what happened on something or other? And then he'd name some shit out, and fucking Steve would spin a fucking perfect lie that was so non-committal that a 7-year-old could buy that maybe you did see that level. Well, one of the things was fucking, yeah, but did you beat Goma? And fucking, dude, we beat Goma. And he goes, what color was Goma? You know, and it's just, well, I said there were 2. There were 2 of them. The one that we fought was fucking green. And he was like, what? And he goes, what was the color of the other one? And I have just by fucking pure chance said blue. That's what color Goma was. And he went right down this fucking rabbit hole. He thought that there was a boat. We had him believing, because we lied, okay, we know all about the power of the lie, that there was a fucking hidden level to where you had to beat Goma again. Goma's normally blue. It's a big crab-looking fucking thing, all right? Normally it's blue. He says, no. Later on, we fought the green Goma. And we had that fucker going for fucking 2 or 3 months. He's trying to figure out how to get green Goma. This is before the internet. You know, you couldn't look it up. They just started to come out with these little magazines that would tell you...
Yeah, like the books and magazines.
How to, yeah. And me and Steve were such fucking great liars that we had him go... And finally, man, years later, I was on pass from the Army and went up to go see Steve, all right? And he was there in that house. And he was there. No, he wasn't there. Fucking Justin was there. Steve wasn't there at the time. And fucking Justin was probably about 16 or 17 at that time. And he goes, I know you lied to me about Green Goma.
He remembered it after all that time?
Yeah, he remembered that shit. And I was like... And
you traumatized that poor kid's childhood.
No, you lied to me about Green Goma. I was like, oh yeah, Green Goma? No, we were lying. He was like, I knew it. I knew it. He goes, you don't have any ideas. I was trying to fucking find that thing. I played that game 4 times trying to find that thing. It's fucking funny.
You're like, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're so mean.
He's about 16 at that time. Probably.
I just think it's funny that he remembered it.
No, he remembered everything. He remembered everything we did to him.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, people got really,
it was
really...
a big deal.
Yeah, well, people got really, really into those video games, man. I get that. My brother was like that, too. Like, he got really, really into all those NES games. And he would play him over and over, and, like, if you kept fucking up, he would just start screaming and, like, fucking beating on the floor and shit like that. He was, like, losing his fucking shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, Sandra says, poor kid. Sandra's name today is Sandra, worked as a spy with Marie Curie.
Madame Curie, See, these bitches got me on that one. That was one of the few mistakes I've made.
One of the few
mistakes I've made.
I was like, wait, for a second I was kind of like, wait, was she a spy?
Hari from Madame Curie.
Yes, two completely different women. Yeah, but it gave me pause for a second. I'm like, wait, was Marie Curie a spy? Like, I'm perfectly willing to to put it forward that maybe she was, and that's just now coming out. I don't know. Greg asked, have you ever considered doing a show about EVP? Did we do a show about EVPs?
We mentioned them on show.
I kind of feel like we maybe did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought we did a show about EVPs, but I can't. I mean, if we did, it was a long time ago. I mean, we might do another one at some point.
Gramthars says, I remember when Justin got sent to survival boot camp for juvenile delinquents in northern Michigan. I didn't know that would happen.
Oh, my goodness.
That must have been ahead of time he made that bomb and blamed it on me. He blamed it on me.
See, I haven't heard this story.
Oh, you know about that?
No, I don't think you told me that.
During that same time that I told him about Green Goma, I was in from the Army, all right? I found Steve later, but he wasn't in that house. He was in another house. I just rode somewhere else where he was. But I just stopped into his family house first to try to find him. And he's like, hey, Tom, if you were to take a bunch of match heads and pull the flammable material off of match heads and put that inside of a glass bottle and then put a fuse to it, wouldn't it blow up? And I said, yeah, it would blow up. It'd blow up. I said, but why would you do that? Why would you go through all that trouble?
Yeah,
I said, all you got to do is go down to damn sporting goods store and go get a fucking pound of fucking black powder. And he goes, they sell black powder? He goes, yeah, at the sporting goods store. Go get
Why'd you tell him that?
I didn't think he was going to do it. So he goes down, little did I know, he goes down to the fucking sporting goods store and buys a fucking pound of fucking black powder.
It's all your fault, Tom.
Or it's either black powder or Pyrodex. And, because you could get it from muzzle loaders. And a minor can have it. Or at least they could back then. They probably still can. So they sold it to him at the fucking sporting goods store. So he takes it home and fucking pours it into a Coke bottle and packs it halfway. And this is what I heard. And then he fucking puts the fuse in it. All right. And then packs it the rest of half the way. And puts it on the fucking ledge outside his friend's window. And fucking lights the fuse, and it blows the whole fucking window frame out. Boom!
That's
I mean, and fucking later on, I heard about it when I was back in town. And his mom, he goes, why'd you teach him how to build a bomb? I says, what? You told him how to build a bomb? I said, no, I didn't. What are you talking about? And she explained, and she refreshed my memory, and says, oh, I didn't tell him to do that. I just said that why would you go through all the trouble of fucking using match heads? When you just go down there and go buy some black powder. She goes, he did that. He blew the whole side of a wall out of somebody's house. And I was just like, that dumbass.
Yeah, well.
So that must have been why he got sent to juvenile.
I would imagine, yeah. That's, yeah.
So I see him later, and he goes, hey, Tom. You remember you told me about the bomb? And I said, yeah, you asshole. What the fuck are you doing? And he goes, dude, that worked. And I said, yeah. And he goes, it went off, man. And I said, yeah.
Well, yeah, what do you think was going to happen?
But no, man, it went off big. And I was like, well, yeah. But I didn't know you were going to do that. But yeah, that went off big. But I thought it was just like a little bit like a firecracker. I was like, no. No,
a whole bottle full of...
Yeah, a whole Coke bottle full of fucking black powder would go off about like a stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just... Oh, yeah, I got in a lot of trouble. For that.
Well,
Says you shouldn't have fucking done it.
Rightfully so.
I just thought it would go off like a firecracker. And I was like, no, you didn't. Yeah, it went off just... You didn't know how big a bomb is.
Maybe he was even smart enough to have asked you that whole question about the match heads, just hoping that he would get you to actually tell him how to make a real bomb. Do you think he was that smart?
Yeah, but his way would have worked.
Yeah, but like you said, it would have worked. It just would have been really tedious.
Yeah, I just said why would you go through all the trouble of fucking doing that when you can just go get some black powder?
There are much easier ways to do it. I'm not going to say what they are, but I'm just saying.
There's a lot of shit you can do.
That's what I mean. There's lots of easier ways to do it.
Yeah, it's like these people fucking say, well, you see, we can't really do anything. We don't have any guns in my country. And I just start fucking laughing. All right, you give me a tool room and a fucking store and a hardware store, and I will give you a submachine gun in a few months. The hardest part is making the magazines. But no, I can make all that. And another thing is, what's even easier is what's called field improvised explosives and field improvised munitions. They're very easy to make. You just have to be very careful You have to know exactly what you're doing, and I'm not going to fucking tell anybody how to do it. The information's out there. You must be able to measure weight and temperature very, very accurately. Sometimes if the temperature's wrong, you blow up. You blow up. Okay, because you have to make this shit. But it's all made out of fucking pool chlorine and other things and some other stuff and
things and stuff.
And if you can measure it accurately and you know the temperature and you can heat things and you can keep certain ice chests cool with water and and your thermometers are accurate, you can make military grade plastique, but there's much easier stuff that you can do involving, ANFO. Everybody knows that one. Ammonium nitrate fertilizer and fuel oil.
Well, yeah, a lot of people use that.
As long as you know how to cure it and you know the ratio, it goes off good. It goes off real good. And you just have to know what's good for what and what is a high explosive and what is a low explosive and what's the difference. And no, hell no, you can fucking do anything. And then people always discount things like diesel fuel and gasoline, which is the heart of a civilization. Without that, you don't have modern civilization. So every modern civilization, you can get kerosene, diesel fuel, and fucking gasoline. And there's a huge amount of stored up energy in that. You just have to know what you're doing. You have to be creative. In fact, one man with a Bic lighter did tens of millions of dollars of damage in his lifetime. He was just one of them damn serial arsonists, and he just had an eye. He can just see things and go, if I set that on fire with my lighter, it will burn this whole block down. And he was doing stuff like that.
See, you guys, everybody's good at something.
Yeah, he was just very talented. Very talented artist.
In one of the worst ways possible.
Yeah, very talented arsonist, And it was funny, he's burning down whole neighborhoods just so he could beat off.
Yeah.
Had a hole cut in his pants.
It's just the only thing that I've ever been good at.
Had a hole cut in his pants. He put his hands in his pockets and sit there and just watch the shit burn. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
But with a Bic lighter costing less than $1. So there is no such thing as a world of safety. You will never be safe. You live in a dangerous world with dangerous people who are evil, hairless monkeys. And some of them are fucking have the talent for just wreaking fucking mayhem and chaos. You'll never make it safe. The best thing to do is just everyone be aware and everyone have the skills to defend themselves. And you have to have an even keel, an even platform where everyone can take care of themselves. That's the best way. Because sure as hell, law enforcement can't do it. Not really. We got cops right here they're a good force. You got to have them. But if everyone were to go buck fucking wild all at once, that'd be the end of the cops. You don't even need everybody, just a certain percentage of them. If 5% of the population became uncontrollable, it would destabilize the civilization. It just takes time. It takes time and it takes intelligent action. It's been done many, many, many times in history.
Danny Rolling Ghostface says, just saw that 2020 film Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart. It was pretty good. Sort of like an underwater version of Alien, just saying. Interestingly, I saw one of my favorite horror channels, Possessed by Horror, and she was doing like her top 5 horror movies on every streaming platform, and she also recommended that one. It was talking about how she recommended it to everybody because it's like way better than you think that it would be. Oscar Perez, why did Tom find Hereditary boring? It's a top 3 horror movie of all time. I agree. Like Hereditary, easily my favorite horror movie of the last 10 or 20 years.
I just can't explain it. Or just something about the characters and the way the movie's edited. And
it's kind of one of those ones that, yeah, you're either going to like love it or... But all horror movies are like that. Horror is very subjective. That movie just...
Midsommar.
Yeah, which is weird because I thought it would have been the opposite. But yeah, no, you loved Midsommar, but like, you know... They're very, very different movies, even though it's the same director. Yeah. But that's what's cool about it, is like he just did completely different shit. But yeah, I mean, I love Hereditary. I think it's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so I answered that question. We never did answer Gramthars' question about how to make a woman want you even when you're a MGTOW. Well, if you're MGTOW, like, why would you even want that?
No, they're calling me a bad influence. Yeah. I'm trying to catch up with what everybody's saying.
Jeffy Art says, just logged on and heard someone say beat off. What? Yeah, talking about some arsonists.
Yeah.
Who are just, you know.
Yeah. Fucking Gramthars knew all about fucking Steve's fucking special room downstairs. Well, it wasn't just Steve. Me and Steve shared that fucking room down there. Steve had built this room down in there. And that's where you could go down there and fucking smoke a doob or fucking chill out. And we were also bringing our girlfriends down there. That was our fucking mini motel, love motel. That place was badass. And Justin wasn't allowed back in there. But that sucker fucking busted the damn, this, the fucking, what was the paneling that they used to have back then, like the fake wood paneling that we had?
Yeah.
He pried some of it away so he could fucking slip in. He would slip in. I found that fucker in there one time trying to get back out. so you bitch you. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was fucking throwing things at him. He's trying to get out through the fucking crack in the wall. He fucking bent it up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was in the basement.
That's like some crawl space
Yeah,
shit
this room
there.
was about the size of this room. And it had like a closet in the back. And I didn't know Gramthars knew about that one.
That's really funny.
Yeah, we had couches in there. Man, me and Steve fucking wore that shit out, man, with fucking with the girls that we were wearing. We were fucking dating.
The girls you were wearing?
We were wearing. I said the girls we were dating.
Are you skinning girls and
Skinning
wearing
them
their
girls,
skin?
yeah. Skinning them girls up, man. Yeah.
You doing some Leatherface action down there that I don't know about? Or some Buffalo Bill shit?
Yeah. Mary Lynn knew that room well.
Would
So
you
did a bunch of
me?
other
I'd
ones.
fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Rolling Ghostface says, kids love to burn shit when they're young. Yeah, my brother did as well. He used to set every fucking thing on fire. He grew out of it, but, yeah. He set the backyard on fire one time, one 4th of July. That was exciting. Yeah, Gramthar says, when I was a cop, we used to look for someone whacking off in the shadows. As an abandoned home burned, that would be suspect number one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. John Smith says, one of the UK's worst killers was a serial arsonist who called himself Bruce Lee. Killed about 26 people. Yeah. Holy shit, I don't think I ever heard about that.
Sandra says they're working on a Mad Max sequel. And a separate Furiosa film. Well, we heard that a long time ago. I don't know if there's any new information.
Yeah, have they made any progress on that? Because
yeah.
I do kind of feel like, I'm there for it when they make them.
Because they had all those badass cars that they put in mothball for the next movies. They have a lot of ideas, and the director, I can't remember his name.
George Miller.
Yeah, George Miller. Miller said that he had several students working underneath him that could execute all kinds of fucking Mad Max movies once he's gone. So he promised that there would be more Mad Max. He has chosen ones that can do Mad Max. Like you can do Mad Max, and you can't do Mad Max.
You can't. Not you though.
There are certain people doing that kind of shit. There's some people who understand, and evidently the ones that he has kind of knighted to take his place had a lot to do with Fury Road. So I think that's good. I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, yeah, shit, man. They need to do more of that. We had it go red a little bit, but I think it came back.
Came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said, he was only convicted of manslaughter, so he was not high profile. His trial was also at the same time as the Yorkshire Ripper. Oh, okay. So he was overshadowed. All right, I'm going to have to look that up then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yorkshire Ripper was kind of like a big case. I read a bunch of books about that. Sandra says, I think the Furiosa and the first Mad Max film should be released in 2023.
Let's hope so.
So not this coming year, but the year after that.
That's good. Because Miller's still around.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's still kicking.
I like how he just fucking came up out of retirement and fucking just showed Hollywood how to make a fucking movie with Fury Road. I mean, he kicked ass.
Like I said, when I wrote about it on my blog, because like I said, we saw it in the theater 6 times.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, George Miller comes out of retirement and this movie drops, and then he's just walking away from the explosion in slow motion.
Yep.
Putting sunglasses on.
The movie was so awesome that a lot of people thought that it wasn't real, that a lot of it was CG. Like, oh, that guitar wasn't shooting fire out of it, and they didn't really do the fucking... Oh, no, all that shit was real.
Yes, it was.
It was all real.
Watch all the behind-the-scenes footage. Yep. They totally did all that shit.
The guitar that shoots fire, fire blowing out of stuff, the fucking trucks blowing up. Even the last crash where they had the fucking rock concert fucking mobile is falling apart and all the shit flying off of it. It does look fake, but it isn't. It's just shot at a certain frame rate. Makes it look kind of strange.
The only thing that CGI obviously is just that wheel that's coming at the camera like 3D, but other than that it was...
The whole rack was...
Yeah, because we have the Blu-ray and they have all that shit on the behind the scenes stuff.
They used the CG was only used to erase tire tracks and to erase safety harnesses.
Yeah. Which that's
that's what you use CG for.
Yeah, like I said, I don't shit on CG just because it's CG and it's like, oh, I don't like new things. It's just that, you can rely on it too much, just like anything else.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm really glad that, at least in the horror context, it does seem like people are heading back toward doing more practical effects, because those are always just going to look better when they're well executed. And
the war rig worked. The blade on it and everything, all that shit that you saw the war rig do, it did all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. They were in there building that shit.
Yeah, like I said, just the fucking craftsmanship behind that, like, and all the stunt performers and everything like that. I mean, it's just an incredible. It was just an incredible like piece of art, really.
Yeah, and then all the decorations in the inside, they were all hand done. The little skull faces, it was all tapped in there, and they made special steering wheels, all decorated. It was cool. Real cool.
Sandra says, "Man, Tom, I can't believe you had never seen Fight Club. It is so much a Tom film."
Yeah, no, I totally understand it. One of the greatest films of all times.
See, I told you.
One of the greatest films of all time.
Like I said, I was very shocked that you had not seen it, but yeah. We put the review for that up earlier, that's why.
Yeah.
Earlier today. There's a lot of movies. Like I said, I kind of feel like, man, talking about Fight Club made me want to watch Zodiac again, for Christ's sake. Zodiac is so good.
I watched Excalibur again.
Yeah, we watched. I missed like the first. Well, how long had you had it on? It seemed like I didn't miss that much of it. Okay, yeah, that is
the first hour.
Oh, okay, that's a long ass movie. I forgot.
Yeah, 2 hours long.
Yeah, but
that movie holds up. The tone's perfect.
Yeah, I mean that movie. It's very Arthurian, but then it's like super weird.
Yeah.
It's strange because I think we watched Excalibur, and then later when I saw Zardoz, I didn't really associate the two things. Like, I knew it was the same director, but it didn't really seem, I don't know, it didn't really seem the same to me. But now that we just watched Zardoz and then we watched Excalibur again, I could see how kind of similar they were. Although obviously Excalibur is a much better film, but I don't know, it still has that like really weird tone like Zardoz had.
Well, it's being told to you as mythos.
Yeah.
As mythology. So it has an unreal quality to it. And it real good costumes, good acting. Everybody's fucking over the top, pissed off, super hot, hyper macho. But you're dealing with barbarians, and you're dealing with Arthurian legends. You can't do realism. The tone can't be realism, or the whole thing's lost. It has to be fantasy adventure, like Star Wars. That's what it is. Ancient Star Wars.
Yeah, because I mean the Arthurian legends aren't really a realistic story.
It's all morality tales.
Yeah. And it has like a little bit of a fairy tale kind of like vibe to it too.
Well, the old ways are dying out, and the new ways, the era of man and Jesus are all coming in. So it shows you that. Remember?
Yeah.
Because Merlin is saying, well, our time's gone, and we're going away. So the old ways are leaving, and the new era is beginning, and so they make sure they kind of have. The movie has its foot in both realms of fantasy and religion, which that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Smith says, I loved Fury Road when I saw it. It was great world building, telling you enough about the Immortan Joe cult with just small hints.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of the best examples of show don't tell that I have ever seen in film. Ever.
Yeah.
I said if I was teaching a film class and was trying to illustrate that principle, that is the movie I would show. Because so much stuff is going on in there, and there is so very little dialogue. But the world is so rich, it doesn't have to be, they don't have a lot of exposition. You just figure it out from all these, like, context clues.
Yeah.
Which I think is so great. And, like, I wish more movies would do that.
There's a licensed illustrated novel to give you the backstory of Immortan Joe and the guy who ran the Bullet Farm and the People Eater. Tells you who they all were. It tells you who Nux was, how Nux got in there, how he got into the Citadel. He got in as a child, just holding on to that damn ramp, those platforms that moved up and down. And they were just betting on whether or not he would fall, but he never did fall, so they pulled him up. And they said, "You're a hard Nux to crack." That's what they said. So his name was Nux. He had nuts. Nuts. He had hard nuts to crack.
These are my nuts.
Because he wouldn't give up. So that's how he got in there. But Immortan Joe, Immortan was he was a I guess Australian Special Forces guy, and so was the guy who ran the Bullet Farm. And him and a small army of guys fought their way into the Citadel and took it from some other dudes. And it was overwhelming odds, and they almost got killed. And he ran across a damn pipe to get there when he was young and did all kinds of shit. So because he had survived overwhelming odds, they thought that he was impervious to death, that he was immortal. So they just started calling him the immortal, and then that evolved into the Immortan. And then they divided the realm. The People Eater was just some fat dude that they found. They were going to kill him, but they realized that he was a mathematical genius. He could do all kinds of mathematical computations in his head, and they kept him around as kind of like a human computer. And they made him he ended up getting real rich with them. The People Eater. You remember the guy without the nose, the big fat guy?
Yeah, the one with the gout.
One with the gout, yeah.
With the big old swollen feet.
Yeah. He was just some dude they were gonna kill. They just when they found him, they were just gonna kill him. He was begging for his life, and they didn't know who he was, but they found out real quick that he was a mathematical genius, so they kept him. And they made him one of his own.
I can see how that would be kind of like good to have around.
Well, he could compute how many supplies you needed and how far things were, and could do it all in his head, and so it was like having your own laptop. So they needed him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Gramthars Hammer says, "My dad took me to Excalibur and covered my eyes during the scene where Arthur was conceived by the knight who rode in on Dragon's breath."
That was Pendragon. Uther Pendragon.
I remember watching Excalibur. I think they showed it to us in school, like in 10th grade when we were learning about the Arthurian legends. Like we were doing like English lit or whatever. And it's funny because the only thing I remembered from the movie was Helen Mirren and being cool as shit in it, and the dude playing Merlin being cool as shit in it, and also that crow picking out that knight's eye, like the tree with all the dead knights hanging from it, and then that crow coming and poking the eye out of it. I remembered that. Yeah,
that was the scene with Mordred and the tree with all the dead knights in it.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that weren't any good from his from his beliefs, from his standpoint. It was a good movie.
I was thinking that while we were watching it again last night, I was kind of like, man, that fucking Mordred armor would make a kick-ass cosplay, wouldn't it? I wonder has anybody done that? I'm sure somebody in the world has done it.
It's just a gold armor with a damn sun face with the exposed jaw. It looked good.
Yeah, I had forgotten how cool that looked.
Yeah.
And it went like with the whole he even had a gold sword, right? Yeah. And there was like all the gold shit on his horse and everything.
Yeah, he was impervious evidently. Remember that? They said nothing could harm him when he had that on. Although Arthur
because it was like magic armor.
Yeah, although Arthur ran a damn spear through him.
Yeah, but that was Excalibur.
Was it? No, it was a spear.
Was it?
It was a spear. It wasn't Excalibur.
No, see, I thought...
No, that's right. He put a spear through his dad, and then he used Excalibur to kill...
Don't tell me.
That's right.
I saw the same movie you did.
You got it.
I know.
Thought it was the other way around.
No.
I had it backwards. That's right.
He had Excalibur. Excalibur's also magic.
He put a spear through Arthur, and then
Arthur,
he ran down the spear shaft, and
then he's like, "Man, bitch, I'm gonna get you."
Got you with Excalibur. Yeah.
Yeah, Sandra also liked Midsummer much better than Hereditary. So it does. I mean, like I said, I liked both movies. Both of them are awesome. But I don't know. Like I loved Midsummer, but I really, really liked Hereditary. Like a really lot.
I saw Hereditary twice. The first time I fell asleep in the theater. Second time we saw it, it was okay. It was good. It was just it just wasn't really that satisfying for some reason. You know, Midsummer had more characters in there, more shit happened. You had little what's her name, that cute little chick with the lollipop head. Her head is like a little lollipop.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah. She was from. I really liked her in Fighting with My Family. Fucking great movie.
God, that is such a good movie.
Yeah.
I feel like more people should see that. It's just so charming.
Sandra, if you haven't seen Fight with My Family, you got to see it. It's a Florida movie, and it's got that girl in it.
And it's based on a true story.
Based on a true story, and they show it. A lot of stuff happens in it right near where we used to live. We used to drive by it all the time, go to the club, going up I-4. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where they were training her and recruiting her in that damn building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's about wrestling, but you don't have to give a shit about wrestling like to enjoy the movie.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's just like a fun like character, and it's funny.
Yeah, real funny.
Like and her her family dynamic is hilarious.
Right.
Like I really like her mom and dad and stuff.
It's like trashy British council estate shit, but they're funny, they're cool, and then it comes into like Florida.
Yeah.
And the difference and how she's getting along.
And
with
she's kind of a gothy chick, and like she comes over and like all these kind of hot,
models.
Models and dancers and stuff.
They're all becoming wrestlers, and she doesn't respect them. She's like, "Oh, you guys aren't real wrestlers. You're like porn stars or something."
Because they all look like porn stars.
They have this kind of the same scene.
Yeah. John Smith says one of my favorite sword and sorcery movies when I was a kid was Dragon Slayer. I remember liking that when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it in a really long time.
It's been a long time.
I kind of feel like that might be one of the ones that if I watch it now, I'll just be kind of like, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it'll hold up.
Best sword and sorcery movie for me is Conan the Barbarian, the first.
Well, yeah, everybody knows that.
And then right underneath that would be Excalibur. I don't remember Dragon Slayer that much. I remember seeing it, thinking it was okay.
I saw it on cable a lot. I kind of feel like it wasn't one that I watched over and over. I kind of feel like maybe my brother was more into it, if I'm remembering right. I mean, this was a long time ago. And I don't remember if I like sat there and watched the whole thing straight through ever. It's one of those things where, because, I mean, you guys that are maybe the same age as us, like you'll remember back in the old days, like in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, the same movies would be on cable pretty much like all the time. It'd be like 4 or 5 movies a day, and they would just run them like in succession, like in a loop or whatever. And like HBO would have this handful of movies, and they would just play them over this 1 month, and then they'd switch out like movies the next month. And so you'd end up seeing a lot of the same movies kind of over and over again, but you'd be flipping through the channels and be like, oh, look, it's Superman the movie, or oh, look, it's Time After Time, or it's Grease 2, or it's the Pirate movie, or whatever, and or it's Arthur. That was another one that was on all the time. And if it was on, like sometimes it was just the middle of it, but you already seen it, kind of, so you're just like, man, why not? We don't have anything else to watch, so you just like sit there and watch it. So you'd kind of just like see it in pieces over time. Like you wouldn't really just sit there and watch the whole thing. You would just kind of like see it in pieces over several days. I kind of feel like that happened a lot with a lot of movies. And I think Dragon Slayer was one of those. And I don't think I liked it enough to actually seek out and watch it from the beginning. Like I liked it, but it wasn't one that really kind of like stuck with me.
What's he saying about the different eras inside Excalibur and stuff?
Where?
Right there, the top one.
Oh, okay. Wanted to add that when I watched Excalibur, I always felt the old era was magic, runes, and paganism.
Yeah.
The new era was rationalizing it with religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And science.
Yeah.
Because remember, once the round table is established, it shows, what's his name, Parsifal, when he comes into the kingdom and he's trying to find his way to the kitchen, he goes through the damn bazaar. And they've got like wise men from the east with their big horoscopes and star machines and all these people doing alchemy. So technology is starting to come about too. But yeah, it's definitely showing one world going and a new world coming, and there's overlap there. I was telling Saad, I was recommending it to Saad, a friend of mine who listens to the show. He's in Saudi Arabia. He likes this kind of stuff, but being from an Arabic culture, he didn't know about this whole angle. So one thing that was weird about it is that you see Christian priests blessing Excalibur. Remember when it's in the stone?
Yeah.
And keeping it ready. So there was, and that's actually, I think, authentic, really. A lot of the barbarians that you're hearing about that the Romans complaining about, in fucking 400 AD, 500 AD, they're actually Christians. And they're not Orthodox Christians like you would know today. It was kind of like a homemade Christianity. It was a mixture of what you would call mysticism and Christianity at the same time. So there wasn't a conflict there. Those conflicts didn't come until much later, until after Orthodoxy was established. If you guys
much more freewheeling back in the old days.
Yeah.
And we're just like, right, suppose so.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, he good. Yeah,
that's cool.
Thor too. The Vikings were believing in Thor and Jesus simultaneously at certain times.
Yeah, they just add more stuff on it. It's like a buffet.
Right.
Super fun. Rickshaw says, did Tom watch Kill List? I did a review of Kill List. No, you did not. Actually, you might like it, though. That's if you didn't see it, I put up a review of that yesterday. It's a British crime thriller / horror movie. Like, it goes horror direction in the last third. That's an excellent movie. 2011. Man, that one scene where he beats that dude to death with a hammer, holy shit. I have very rarely seen anything as brutal as that. And it looked real. I mean, it's not like a gory film, but it is a very, very violent film. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it's pretty well regarded, I think, but I think the end of it, which I don't know if I necessarily want to spoil it. I know it's 10 years old, but it's better if you don't know, like, where the end of it is going. But I think the ending kind of like people either love it or hate it. So it's one of those things. But up to then, it's a crime thriller. It's about two hitmen that are, going down this thing. Like, they have a contract of, like, people they have to rub out. And as it goes on, they start to discover that there may be some larger kind of thing going on, like some kind of conspiracy sort of thing. But that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it's actually really, really good. And like I said, that dude getting beaten to death with a hammer, that was fucking brutal. Holy Parish of Doom says, Time After Time. I haven't seen that one since the 80s. God damn it. I love that movie.
You want that bitch on Blu-ray.
Saw that movie so many fucking times growing up. You know what? If you asked me to recite the whole thing right now, I probably could.
Yeah.
I probably could.
If anybody would like to send Jenny a gift of Time After Time on Blu-ray, she'd accept it.
We don't have it.
We don't have it, I don't think.
I thought somebody sent it to us a long time ago.
Really?
I don't know what. Go look because I'm not entirely sure.
It's not in mine. They must be in yours.
Okay, but I'll look. But I thought I had it, but maybe not.
Great movie.
I get confused. I have so many. I have so many movies, so many books. I forget which ones I have.
No, I just took my movies out of the box, and there's no way that's in there because I was looking for Excalibur. I would have seen it.
Oh, okay. So maybe we don't have it.
I don't think we did.
I could have sworn somebody sent it to us though.
I don't think we did.
Like a couple years back, we did a review of it a long time ago. I mean, honestly, that's when people ask me what my favorite movies were from the early 80s. It actually came out in 1979. But that was one of the movies that I watched over and over and over again on cable. It was on cable all the fucking time. And I probably saw it 50 million times.
That movie had a fantastic tone to it. The tone was really good.
It's so good. What a great concept.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I had a movie that had the dude that played
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, who was the other guy?
David Warner.
David Warner, that's
and Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah. It's about H.G. Wells back in the 1800s. He actually makes a time machine.
Yeah, like it works.
It works. And Jack the Ripper gets into it and escapes into the future.
In 1970.
Into the 1970s.
Which, that was...
Right.
That was
he doesn't quite have to do it, and the time machine goes back to the 1800s, so H.G. Wells can get in it.
And chase him.
He chases him down. So you got H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper in San Francisco, California, I believe, wasn't it? San Francisco, right?
It was San
Francisco
Francisco.
in the 70s, and they're having a damn showdown. And the time machine's there.
God damn it, it's so good. It's so good.
It's good, yeah.
Like I said, it's such a great concept to start with. I mean, H.G. Wells like chasing Jack the Ripper into 1979.
And
I love
Malcolm
it.
McDowell knocks the fucking H.G. Wells fucking part out of the park. He's like, man, that's the way. For me, when you say H.G. Wells, it's actually Malcolm McDowell doing that character. That's
I know. I can't
really separate the two. That's how I see him.
Even though H.G. Wells in real life like got kind of fat later, so it's just kind of like they actually do show a picture of him later, in the movie.
Yeah.
So because he comes to like this when he comes to 1979, he ends up in San Francisco because there's like a museum exhibit about his life. Looking at pictures of himself like older, even though he's only like in his 30s or whatever. But it's good because I like that it has like funny sort of fish out of water kind of element to it. Because obviously this is H.G. Wells. He's from, the late 1800s, and he's coming to 1979. So there is a little bit of a comedic thing where it's just like, oh, look at all this crazy 70s shit that's going on. Yeah. And he doesn't understand.
He kind of understands it, though. Remember, that woman makes a move on him, and he's like, oh, free love.
He's like, all right.
Yes, free love, yes.
Yeah, but I like that they kind of, like, it's funny, but they underplayed it. They didn't do this kind of like, oh my God, I don't know how anything works. No. Well, because H.G. Wells was so ahead of his time, that I like that, some of the shit is like weird, but he's just kind of like, oh, okay, I got you.
Because I know what this is.
I got you. Right. You know what I mean? So he kind of like, catches up with it pretty quick.
He's hawking off some gold and jewelry that he had to try to get some modern cash so he can spend some shit, and there's the Jewish guy running the damn pawn shop and the jewelers, and he has a damn tattoo on his on the back
from the camps,
and he's like, what's that? And he goes, that's from the Second World War. And he goes,
he says from the war, and he says war, and he goes,
yeah, he goes, the Second
World War?
And then it was like, there were two World Wars?
War II, I said.
It's blowing his mind because Wells and I guess you could say he was a Fabian socialist, wasn't he? An English Fabian socialist? And they kind of had utopian, futuristic ideas.
Yeah.
They thought that everything would progress along a smooth path, and that it would get more peaceful and more civilized and more scientific and blah 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 blah. Progress. Well, this is one of the best part of the movies. Is Jack the Ripper says, "Oh yes, it's progressed into the world that is perfect for me." Basically, is what he's saying. This is my world.
That's a great scene between
great.
between H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper, where Jack the Ripper is flipping through all this channels on the TV, and there's just like wars and just terrible shit.
And crime
and he's like,
happening.
100 years ago, what does he say? 100 years ago, I was a freak.
Yeah.
Now it's like
I'm an amateur.
Now I'm an amateur.
Right.
No one would even notice.
Right. He's kind of right in some ways.
But I mean, it's I kind of like
one way of looking at it.
Well, I mean, I kind of like that they're coming at it from opposing viewpoints.
Right.
But from that point of view, 1979, obviously, there was a lot of crime, there's a lot of bad shit happening, but there was a lot of progress that had been made too. Yeah. So it was just they were kind of saying that both of them were wrong because they were kind of at extreme ends of the spectrum.
Although when he showed him all that, Wells in that scene is staggered by it. He's like, oh shit, his faith is shaken. That I might have been wrong. But it all works out.
Well, he says at the end to Mary Steenburgen, who, a modern woman that he meets and falls in love with, that he says every age is the same. Yeah. It's only love that makes any of them bearable.
Right.
So he does actually kind of come to the point of view where, I obviously extrapolating all this utopian shit into the future is not what's going to happen because people are people, you know what I mean?
It reverts to the mean.
Yeah, so it has like a deeper message, but it's still like just a good movie. You don't even have to like take that away from it if you don't want to. But it's just it's just so entertaining. And just like, I love the acting in it. I just love everything about it. And it's just kind of gory too, a little bit for 1979. That one scene where Mary Steenburgen's character, comes home to our apartment. It's like covered with blood, and there's like a fucking severed hand laying there. That like used to freak me out when I was a kid.
Sandra wants to get something to eat, but she doesn't want to leave because she might miss something funny. You need to get earbuds and put earbuds on and just go about your business. And
you could just call DoorDash or whatever the German equivalent of DoorDash is.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably have something like we used to read DoorDash, right? What's the other one? I feel like DoorDash is the most famous one, but what's that? Grubhub, that's the other one, right?
I don't know.
I used that one before. I used that in St. Augustine, but I don't know if I'd use it again because it took forever. But I don't, because I was too lazy. I was at my Airbnb, and I was too fucking lazy to walk like a fucking quarter of a mile to get a fucking sandwich. So I got fucking called Grubhub and was like, bring me a sandwich and a fucking frozen iced coffee, please. And it took like an hour.
DJ Maniac said in German, it's just called DoorDash.
DoorDashing.
DoorDashing. It's funny.
Victor says, wow, how old is Mary Steenburgen? I'm not actually sure. You know what's weird is that tomorrow, or today if you're a patron, I just did a review of a movie called Dead of Winter that came out in 1979, which was Mary Steenburgen and Roddy McDowall. And she was, so that was, it's weird because that was 87, which was, 8 years after Time After Time, and Mary Steenburgen looked exactly the same. She didn't look a single year older. I don't know what she looks like now because I haven't seen her in a long time. But, Dead of Winter is another one that I saw on cable a whole bunch. Growing up, and then when I saw it, I think it was on Amazon Prime or some shit like that. I said, "Oh, I need to do a review of that. I'll do it in December because I'm doing all winter movies mostly this month." And when I went to kind of research it and look for other reviews, bitch, nobody has heard of this fucking movie.
What movie?
Dead of Winter.
Never heard of it.
It's a thriller.
Okay.
And it's came out in 87. Like I said, I remembered it sort of. Like I remembered some shit about it from back in 87 because it was on cable a lot. And I didn't realize how far it had fallen into obscurity. I had kind of forgotten about it until I saw it come up, like on whatever streaming platform, and I was like, "Oh, it's free, and I need to watch that again because I haven't seen it in a long time." And then when I went to research it, looked for other reviews, I found one other review of it that was like 3 minutes long, and they didn't like it, and I was just kind of like, I didn't realize how much that movie had been forgotten. It's actually a pretty decent film, not super believable. But it's a thriller. It's a remake of like a movie from the 40s, sort of. But so if you're not a patron, then you'll be able to see it tomorrow. I'll put it up. Victor says, I always think of her as the mom in Step Brothers. Holy shit, was she in that? I didn't see that movie. Was that funny? I kind of feel like that looks like the kind of comedy that I would think was stupid. But I've had so many people tell me that fucking movie was funny that maybe I'll just like watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really picky about comedies. And a lot of comedies that people are like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing ever. I'm just kind of like, meh. I don't really like a lot of stupid humor. It depends. It can be done well. But to me, it just seemed like I don't like that Will Ferrell kind of stuff usually. Although he's good in, he was good in Elf. I liked that. He's good in more serious kind of movies. Holy crap, what was that fucking movie we saw with Will Ferrell in it where he was Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, that was terrible. Horrible.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
I was laughing at the movie.
It was so bad.
The movie was so fucking desperate.
And I felt so bad for no, it wasn't
people in the theater were
John C. Reilly.
People in the theater
because I love John C. Reilly, and I was like, dude, please. I was like, do you want me to rescue you? Please let me get you out of this movie. Poor John C. Reilly. Yeah. But because I love him. But
you saw that in the theater, and people in the theater were groaning.
Yeah,
there was a couple scenes where I was laughing.
The only thing
he grabbed the fucking queen and
stuffed her in the trunk. Okay, that was funny.
That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah. But that was literally the only funny thing in that fucking movie. I was just watching that. I was just so embarrassed for everyone involved. It was so try hard. God, it was just like, like you said, it was so desperate. They just like were desperately wanted you to laugh at it. It was just so uncomfortable.
And it seemed like they knew. It seemed like the actors knew. They were kind of breaking character through a lot of it.
It really did seem like that, didn't it?
That they knew that this movie fucking sucked. You know, it's just it's weird.
Which, like, I'm willing to give actors, like, the benefit of the doubt. Because, look, it's like, you know, a lot of them, read the script ahead of time. But there are script rewrites during the filming, shit like that. They film shit out of order. You know, they film stuff. They do a bunch of takes. The actors aren't sure which ones they use. So I kind of feel like actors, they don't even know what the finished movie is going to be like, really, until they kind of see the rough cut. You know, so I think it's, you know, it's easy to, like, blame actors or something like that when a movie ends up being a trash fire, but I don't know if I'd put the blame there necessarily, because a lot of them just show up, they do their job, and they're not entirely sure about how it's going to play out, like, in the aggregate, you know what I mean? So I can imagine, but that movie, that really, really did seem like you said, that really did seem like they kind of knew that it sucked when they were making it.
It seemed like they were trying to get through it.
Yeah, it really, that's sort of like,
you know what I'm talking about?
It did kind of seem like that, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like that they were trying to get through it, and they were, like, tongue-in-cheek looking at you,
going,
the audience.
Holmes and Watson, that's what it was called.
And they were like, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And they were looking at you like, yeah, this shit fucking sucks.
I mean, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. Like I said, there was a couple moments in there. Like I said, the stuff in Queen Victoria in the trunk, that was funny. There was a couple things in there that kind of made me chuckle. But, I mean, honestly, I was just, like, embarrassed for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Particularly John C. Reilly and Rebecca Hall. They didn't deserve that. You know what I mean? Those are actually really good actors. I don't really care about Will Ferrell because I don't like most of his stuff because he's annoying as shit. Although I did like Stranger Than Fiction, I will say. And I do like Elf. But, man. Yeah, Mango said, yeah, Holmes and Watson, it was dreadful. So bad. I almost want to watch it again. No, I don't. I almost want to watch it again just see if it was as bad as I remembered. And I think when we reviewed it at the time, because we went, you know, that was when we were going to the theater and doing the matinees. So, you know, we didn't pay to see it, really. But I tried to be, like, positive about it because I don't want to be one of those motherfuckers that's just on YouTube whining about everything and complaining about how shit everything is, because that's stupid and it's not true. But I was really struggling. Like, to find something positive to say about it.
It was bad.
Because, man, it was just really, really not funny. And it just really...
Go to the restroom.
God, it was painful. It was just painful to watch. So I have a bad... I don't know. I like a lot of comedies, but I'm a horror person. So I don't really seek out a lot of comedies. Because I always kind of feel like, look, I'm going to watch this and it's supposed to be funny. And there's probably like a 75% chance that I'm not going to think it's funny. Especially if it's like real dumb, like lowbrow kind of humor. Or like real lazy kind of humor. I'm usually not about it because I'm just like, ugh, okay, whatever. Like we haven't seen this done a million times before. I like a lot of British humor. Like I like a lot of more like kind of dry, sardonic kind of humor. Not always, but I'm in a more like something like that. I like black comedy, like something like real dark humor. I like that kind of stuff. I was kind of going to say, remember that fucking, what was that Jim Jarmusch zombie movie? Oh, The Dead Don't Die? I know a lot of people hated that, but to be honest, I thought that movie was fucking hilarious. And I think I might be the only person that thought that. Well, Tom liked it too, which I didn't think he would. But when we went to see that movie, I kind of feel like most people just hated that and thought it was awful. But for some reason, that just, I don't know, like the humor in that like really tickled me. I don't really know what it is. So I have a very, really weird sense of humor, which is why I don't seek out comedies a lot. Because I feel like most of the time, I'm just not going to think it's funny and I'm going to be like bummed out. Danny Rolling Ghostface says, speaking of funny, that new Jackass film needs to hurry up and come out already. We've seen the trailer for that. That actually looks pretty entertaining. As much as I said I don't really like lowbrow humor, I mean, how can you not love Jackass? I mean, come on. Everybody loves Jackass, I kind of feel like. Mango says, Farrell did a good serious movie called Everything Must Go. Oh, I haven't seen that. Worth checking out. Okay. I do kind of feel like even like comedians or comedic actors that I find super annoying, like Jim Carrey, I can't stand any of his comedies. It's just so over the top and so frenetic. And I'm just like, to me, that comes across as like, please love me. And it's just like, that's not, that it's really off-putting. But interestingly, Jim Carrey in serious roles, like he was fucking fantastic in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That was a fucking great movie. I loved that. So when he's just playing a normal person, like a normal character in a dramatic role, it's so much better because it doesn't have that whiff of, you know, like Tom said, desperation about it. I feel like there's some kind of like, please accept me, like, please think I'm funny. And it's just kind of like it's just over the top, and it's just very, very off-putting to me. Victor says Borat is funny. Yeah, I did think Borat was funny. You know, just be fair. Holy Parish of Doom, we've been binge-watching numerous usually bad found footage flicks on Tubi. Well, if you come up with any good ones, let me know. I'm not a big found footage fan, but there are a lot of good ones. I tend to prefer mockumentaries if you're going to go that way, but... and I've said this before, Tubi gets kind of shit on as like a platform because it's like, oh, it's free and there's fuck tons of stuff on there. And there's fuck tons of horror on there. And I'll admit that probably like 60-70% of it is awful. Probably like, you know, like shot on a fucking phone awful. But there's some really, really, really good shit on there. It's just that you really have to kind of like wade through a lot of stuff like to get to good stuff. But you know, there's a lot of really good stuff on there too, and it's free. You can't complain about that. Mango says, no, you're not on your own. I loved it myself, Jenny. So, thank you. I thought I was the only person that actually really likes The Dead Don't Die. I get why people wouldn't like it. I get it. But for whatever reason, just that really, really like dry sense of humor, I just thought that was so fucking funny. Yeah, Tammy said, is that the one with Bill Murray and Adam Driver? Yeah, it's that one. I mean, that repeating gag about the fucking song, and it's just... And I don't normally like self-aware or self-referential stuff, because again, it seems to me too... I don't like stuff that tries too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like stuff that's kind of like, look how meta we are, look how clever we are. I don't really like stuff that calls attention to itself in that way. I'm like, just be that, and let people draw their own conclusions. But for whatever reason... the meta-ness of that one just like fucking cracked me up. I guess because it was just so weird too. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Truman Show was good. Yeah, Truman Show, that was another one. That was another one's good. You know what? Hugo mentioned Cable Guy. I don't think I've ever seen Cable Guy. I kept meaning to get around to it. I just never did. But, you know, I'll probably get around to it one of these days. Yeah, Sandra said Eternal Sunshine was great. I know. I love that fucking movie so much. I think I saw it in the theater when it came out, and then I saw it a couple times subsequently. I really, actually, it's probably due for a rewatch. Man, what a great fucking movie. And what a great, again, a great concept. I love a good concept like that. And it's just so good. And Jim Carrey, like, surprised me in that one, because I think that was the first... Had I seen Truman Show before that? Probably not, because I think I saw Eternal Sunshine in the theater, and then I saw Truman Show later, like on cable, or I rented it or something. So I think that was actually the first serious role that I saw Jim Carrey in, and I was like, holy shit, like, he can actually act when he's not acting like a total fucking spazburger. You know what I mean? My Name is Bruce is a good one. Roy says, I watched The Exorcist, the prequel, last night. It was okay, and Pazuzu was mentioned a lot. Interesting idea for the origin, but it didn't have to be made. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that, because I've had probably like about 50% of people saying, you know, yeah, it's really worth watching, and other 50% of people saying, no, it's not worth watching. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of feel like we brought this up on when we were talking about Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I feel like The Exorcist was just a beautifully self-contained story. It didn't really need to be expanded upon, didn't need to have backstory, didn't need to have anything like that. Which, you know, as I mentioned, Exorcist 3, I think the reason that I like that one is just because it's not really a continuation of the first movie. It's just almost like a side quest, so it's like its own thing. You can watch it without having seen the original, and it won't lose anything. But The Exorcist as a movie, I don't think it really needed sequels or prequels or...
No, that was a standalone.
It was a standalone story, and I think it probably should have been left there.
Although, look, my Exorcist 2 is also a standalone in some ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if we're being honest, you don't really have to have seen the first one.
No,
I mean, the second one is like so batshit and weird, and so.
Were they saying, is it worth watching?
No. Well, Roy was asking about the Exorcist, the prequel.
Okay.
Now wait.
I haven't
Okay.
seen the prequel.
Weren't there two? Wasn't there one that was called Exorcist Dominion or no?
I don't remember.
Exorcist Dominion or Exorcist? Yeah, there's been more than one. And honestly, I think they're making another one.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
I don't remember them.
I didn't see them.
Right.
Because I don't know.
I don't think I've seen them.
I don't really like to shit on the idea of like sequels or prequels or something like that because man, they've been doing that since fucking fiction existed. So I'm not gonna get all fucking crotchety about it. It's just that I don't know. Like I said, some stories don't need it. You don't need it. And if you over-explain shit, like I said, if you do, like The Exorcist was just good. Just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Just leave it. You don't need the backstory of the demon. You don't need, it's like, oh, it's a demon. It's like, it doesn't need a backstory. It's just scary. Shit's scarier when it's not explained. When it's not over-explained.
1, 2, and 3, I consider them to be standalones. You don't need to see even the first one. They're kind of like their own movie. Yeah, they do reference other stuff. But it doesn't even really matter.
I mean, the third one is more like a crime thriller, which I thought was cool. Like, it just went in its own direction.
And then, like, some of the other Exorcist movies that have nothing to do with that franchise, just exorcism being the thing, some of them are good.
Yeah.
Watch those too. Just watch them. I don't worry about them. The best one is just Exorcist, the first one, Max von Sydow, and that's probably the best one.
The fact that still holds up this many years later is pretty incredible.
Part of it was because it was an original. The tone of it is right. And it's a classic. Now, timing had a lot to do with it. Could be that a younger person that missed it, they weren't around for that in that era, they may not actually vibe with that movie much.
Yeah, they wouldn't respond to it the same. Which, like I said, it's the same kind of thing with me. I'm not going to watch a movie from, the 1940s, and it's not going to resonate with me the same way because the cultural context is different.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that I don't like a lot of horror movies from the early era, 30s, because I do. But I'm not going to appreciate it the same way that somebody that was young seeing it because I don't have the cultural context. I wasn't born then. So some things are going to not resonate with me the same way that somebody that was alive back then would.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people who know 40s cinema real well, and they say that fucking 40s, a lot of 40s and 50s shit sucked.
Except for cat people.
And they'd put it out, and nobody really see it, and then it was quickly forgotten. Some movies have been lost forever, But,
a lot have.
Yeah.
Especially during the silent era.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. I like silent movies.
They may not have been good, the ones that were lost, though.
Maybe not, but but we'll never know, will we? Because they're gone.
Yep, gone.
I like a lot of silent movies. There's something like really, really creepy and atmospheric about that era in filmmaking that I really, really dig. I really like all those like German expressionist kind of films. They're like so weird. I love the visuals in them. Honestly, I saw this one. It's probably on YouTube. I think I saw it, or it used to be. It was an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher. I think it's not long. It's only like an hour, maybe not even an hour. And the visuals in it, I think it was 1921, and the visuals in it are so fucking cool. Oh my God. I don't even remember who made it, but it's like super, super cool.
Gramthars comes in and goes, other topics, how to build your own silencer. Which is most comfortable? New Rock or Gravani boots? I don't know those. I've only had New Rocks. How to convince a Scientologist to walk away, and why the Roman Empire fell. Okay.
I've always wondered about the Scientologist because this is kind of interesting to me, having worked with Scientologists, and I'm also kind of interested in how people get sucked into cults because I don't understand the mindset of somebody that could get sucked into a cult.
Yeah.
But, like, I understand it's not that uncommon. And, however, like, they come at you, most people could get kind of sucked into a cult, whether they think they can or not. So I'm not thinking I'm above that. I'm just saying you'd have to come at me a different way. But That's something that I kind of feel like in a lot of ways you have to sort of come at it. I guess it's different for everybody, but you have to kind of come at it on your own. I kind of feel like you have to get to a place where enough things build up that you're like, hey, this is fucked up. I really need to get the fuck out of here. I don't know if just making fun of them. I think making fun of them helps some people. But then some people respond better to you just kind of like being nice to them, but also just kind of like asking questions like, hey, isn't it messed up that, blah, blah, blah. And like just making them think about it so they can come to the conclusion on their own. So I don't know. I don't know if there's like one way.
Yeah.
But that kind of shit fascinates me. Like people that are like trying to get people out of cults.
Yeah.
And like the psychology behind that. I'm really interested in it.
Okay, to answer the question, how to build silencers. First of all, silencers do not exist. They're fucking sound suppressors. And there's no reason for them to be a controlled item. And they'll eventually legalize them. The reason why sound suppressors ended up becoming a registered item with the NFA was during the 20s, poachers were going out and they were over hunting certain animals back during the Great Depression. And sound suppressors could hold the noise down over a long distance so a person could evade a game warden. In terms of crime, they do not impact crime at all. You can pop somebody with an unsuppressed 9mm pistol in a house and the neighbors will not be alerted to it. Then you could suppress that same pistol and pop somebody in the room of a house and everybody else would know that something happened. They may not be able to identify it as a shot, but suppressors were never about hiding the fact that shots had been fired. All right. There's some exceptions. Very small calibers, 22s, 25s, 380s, 32s, which are very weak calibers, usually in blowback with a fixed barrel. In some cases, you can hide the fact that a shot has been fired with those. But it really doesn't matter. You're just letting the room next door, you're just hiding it from the room next door. It wouldn't make much difference if it was a larger caliber and you're talking about the neighbors, you know what I mean? It just doesn't impact crime, really, suppressors. So suppressors should not be controlled. All they do is reduce the decibels. A suppressed 45 caliber pistol is still louder than an unsuppressed 22 caliber pistol. So, should you register a 22 caliber pistol because it's louder or because it's quieter than a 45 that has been suppressed? It doesn't make any sense. Everything is all just relative, A suppressor can reduce some decibels off of it. Now, anything has a projectile that's fucking ultrasonic, it's going to make a sonic boom. It's going to still be loud. If it's a rifle, there's a lot of powder involved in a fucking rifle cartridge. It's long. The velocities are high. Suppression is not realistic. You can suppress them, but it doesn't make a big difference, if you ask me. The main thing is that a suppressed pistol caliber, full auto or semi-auto firearm is comfortable to shoot, and it's a little pussycat in terms of the way it handles, especially indoors. You don't have to worry about hearing protection as much. Now, making one, you have to ask yourself, there's two questions there's a question you have to ask before you try to make anything. Does the barrel move or not? Because some firearms, the barrel moves. Other firearms, the barrel does not move during firing. So if you attach a weight on the end of the barrel, you're going to jam it if it moves. So a lot of semi-auto pistols that have slides, they have tipping barrels, like 9mm and bigger, When you start adding weight on the end, you're going to fuck up with the cycling ability, and you might have to strengthen springs. So it's not just the suppressor, you have to have a stronger spring now to close the slide. There's a lot of things about it. But the suppressor itself's easy. It's a tube with baffles in it, basically with a hole going down it. And it's just giving something to expand. It's just expanding and contracting the gases behind the projectile. That's all you're doing. If you wanted to make something like that easy, you get something like a 22. You get something like a can of tennis balls. Cut all those tennis balls in half and let all the fucking filling come out of it. So now you have rubber tennis balls, cut in half, and a can. Take that can, put some damn Brillo pad, like scrubbing pad, put that in there, and then put the half a damn rubber tennis ball, and then more Brillo pad and more tennis ball. Brillo pad, tennis ball, until you fill the whole thing up with rubber tennis balls and half of the damn Brillo pad. Take that, pop a hole in it, stick a barrel of a rifle in there, and tape it all around in there. When you fire it, the bullet it'll do what a suppressor does, especially 22 or smaller calibers. It'll be quiet. Now it'll blow off little pieces of damn metal fucking from your scrubbing pads. It'll come out. Any forensic investigation, they'll know that you used a suppressor. You just if you think that this is going to somehow help you commit a crime, you're wrong. You're leaving more evidence now. Okay? Anytime I'm going to be slick and be an assassin with a silencer, this is James Bond movie bullshit. That's not how it actually works in real life. You'd have a better chance of getting away with it without the suppressor. Because you're not leaving the evidence behind. The more evidence you leave at a scene, the more you increase the chances that it will be linked to you. Anytime a crime happens, and you should know this by listening to this show regularly, evidence is left, evidence is taken away. That's what happens at a crime scene. Evidence from the crime scene ends up on the offender and he takes it with him. The offender leaves evidence at the crime scene. You have to keep all that shit to a minimum. Okay? Professionals that do this shit for security companies and fucking kill people and white people, fucking silence fucking witnesses, and because you have security agents who are hired by elected officials in other countries who need enemies taken out, and they're cops and soldiers, ex-cops, ex-soldiers, ex-private eyes, have learned everything from mafias and everything that happens. The main thing is to foil the investigative process. That's all you're doing, which is easy if it's pre-planned. If it's something that's done at the drop of a hat, it's a lot harder. But that's why first-degree murder carries a death sentence or a life sentence, is because it's more likely to get away with a first degree because it's all pre-planned. That's what an assassination is, So,
first rule of thumb: make sure they don't find the body.
They don't find the what?
They don't find the body.
Yeah, well, the rule in general is to foil the investigative process. So you want to deny the investigators as much as possible. You want to deny them the crime scene, the time of the crime, the victim, the weapon, everything. You want all of that obscured or denied. No link. That way, nothing can be linked to anything. And that's how serial killers and assassins and shit like that have gotten away with things. Sometimes just a dude could just be lucky. You find a dead dude in a car. You don't know who killed that guy. There's the bullet hole in his head. And the dude who did it might have just been an idiot, drunk. But you still can't catch him just because not enough evidence was left at the scene. And
there wasn't enough association between
Not enough association. Yeah, that's right. There's no association, so that's less evidence. You're denying evidence to the investigators. So that's always what it is. Now the Iceman, he denied the investigators the crime scene, the time of the crime. Not the victim. They eventually got the victim, but the victim had a lot of times had been frozen for a long time, and the weapon. So there's no association. They can't associate it with anything.
Fourth Row Down says, don't they say that a lot of the old celluloid was used to make shoe soles? I had heard that, actually. What happened with a lot of the old movies was that a lot of them were shot on that silver nitrate stock, right? Which is super flammable.
Yeah, burned up.
So a lot of it just spontaneously combusted, sadly. Roy said, and yeah, this is actually a good recommendation. Another film I watched was the, where was the thing before?
No Need for Bees here.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Night of the Demon from 1957. Really, really good movie if you haven't seen that one. Based on M.R. James casting the runes. is actually like really, really excellent. Probably, actually, I would argue easily one of the best horror movies of the 50s. Easily. Let's see. Okay, so I thought we were a cult, the cult of Pookie. All hail Pookie, destroyer of worlds. At least destroyer of furniture. Chewing on everything in here like she does. Yeah. But, you know. Well, let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to like...
They're saying if I get my own channel, it will be banned immediately. That's what Sandra said. Probably. Probably.
Let's see. Now I'm like really behind. Because I was like, I had some questions I wanted to answer up there, but then like a bunch of them kind of came. And I have to kind of go to...
Tila showed up. What's up, Tila?
Well, hey, everybody's here.
You know why Tila's here. Tila's here to see the vanilla gorilla. Yeah.
Roy asked if we reviewed Kill Bill. We haven't yet.
Yeah.
I actually really like that movie, though. I saw it in the theater, but we haven't reviewed it yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, now that I'm thinking about it. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
All right, go ahead.
You talk.
I'm going to talk to him. See what everybody's doing. Tila jumps in. She goes, greetings all. Happy Friday. Excuse me while I take a long drag off my drink. Okay. Yep. Tila's laughing over fucking Vanilla Gorilla. That's right. I'm not only Vanilla Gorilla, the one of a kind Tom Ross Honky Kong. Honky Kong. See what's going on with no need for me saying fucking Vanilla Gorilla. That's a new one to me. Yeah, Vanilla Gorilla. Tila worked with as a spy for Madame Curie too. Goddamn, these bitches are coming down on me. They're fucking dropping all kinds of bullshit on. Yeah, I fucked up on that one. That was a good one though. I messed up Madame Curie with fucking Mata Hari. Yeah. Coach says I'm one cool cat and making him laugh. Well, it's either Vanilla Gorilla or Honky Kong, one of the two. Yeah. Yeah, Mango's going, greeting this Christmas, Nintendo. Yes, we were talking about Nintendo. We were talking about Nintendo early on. I was thinking about Donkey Kong. So I was just like the Honky Kong. That's right. Remember how you make that noise?
Whatever.
Jump like Donkey Kong.
Oh.
Well, not only did I come up with fucking fucking Vanilla Gorilla, it's Honky Kong. Honky Kong.
Oh my god.
Honky Kong.
Somebody make that video game immediately.
Honky Kong. Yeah.
Honky Kong.
Yeah, it's got me up at the top. Doing that. The barrels are coming.
Throwing barrels
Little
at
Italian
people.
dude coming with the fucking hammer.
I feel like you should be throwing something other than barrels, though. What would Tom be throwing? I feel like you'd maybe... I think you should throw pizzas.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You should like throw them like
I was just
fucking
gonna leave
frisbees.
barrels.
Honky Kong. We need a whole thematic thrust.
Well, I was saying we were evil, hairless monkeys. So it was all kind of going in there. The Vanilla Gorilla.
Please tell me somebody.
Not Magilla Gorilla, but Vanilla Gorilla.
I was. You know what's weird? I was just thinking of Magilla Gorilla today. I haven't thought of that in a really long time. Oh, I think it's because I was watching an episode of MST, and I think that Pearl called Bobo that at some point. Yeah. She called him Magilla, and I think that's what I was thinking of. Wasn't the one I watched last night though. Last night, like you guys, Tubi has 40 bajillion MST episodes and riff tracks and cinematic Titanic.
Yeah.
So I was watching Danger Death Ray last night. I hadn't seen that one in a long time, so that was super fun. Which, like I said, has one of my favorite lines where there's this fucking great scene. It's like a spy movie, like a really cheap jack. I think it's Italian, like a James Bond ripoff. And there's these scenes where it's like a submarine and a helicopter, but they're very obviously toys. I mean, really obviously. And I just love Mike's line. It's like, oh, the ocean's beautiful in this part of the tub. Because it's totally like a bathtub full of water.
T's saying something about, y'all, I was watching Foul Play last night.
Oh, I love that movie.
Read what she said?
An old comedy. Tom would have done well as Dudley Moore's character in that movie. I can see him trying to seduce Goldie Hawn. Yeah. Chevy Chase was in that too, right?
Yeah.
That was like a murder mystery, but like a comedy. Holy shit. That was another one that used to be on cable all the time back in the old days, and I think I saw that one like a zillion times. Wait, was that the one... Okay, was that the one with Burgess Meredith, and he had a python named Esme? Or is that a different movie? Please, like, remind me. But I'm pretty sure that I saw that, like, a bunch of times. Sandra says Tom can throw spam cans.
Yeah, that'd work. Spam.
Oh, and that's actually win-win, because you could get Spam to, like, sponsor the video game.
Yeah.
It could be, like, Spam presents Honky Kong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to make it look like the old one. You have to make it like an old, like, 80s retro video game.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. With bald me up there, just as the gorilla. Yeah.
With no shirt on. No, maybe with your Danzig wig.
Danzig wig, don't matter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If I knew how to, like, design retro video games, I would totly do that. That would be hilarious. Honestly, somebody Google, has somebody done Honky Kong? I feel like somebody has probably done that. If they haven't, somebody needs to.
Baby, baby. Remember how the girl would go, baby, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Be funny.
Holy shit. You guys remember Burger Time?
Yeah. That one was bad.
I liked Burger Time. Like, what a weird fucking concept. I don't even know what they were smoking back then, but
yeah.
That, and for some reason I liked those really weird concept video games like Burger Time and Joust. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm riding an ostrich and I'm just whacking this other ostrich so it lays an egg. Like, it doesn't make any sense when you think about it, but whatever. Weird ass video games back then. Yeah, DJ Maniac says Honky Kong is probably a hack some geeks made with a swapped palette. Yeah, see, I can see that. I would be very surprised if somebody hadn't thought of that. Uh-oh, we weren't red. Oh, no.
Because you said honky.
Is it?
I guess so.
No, I said it a bunch of times. Yeah. Oh, no, come on, please. Don't. No. Okay. Ooh, okay. Resurrected. All right.
Resurrected. We're saying the H word too much.
I don't know. I said it a bunch of times before it like went fucking.
And then, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. We need to make a shirt called that. Honky Kong.
Yeah. I need to get a picture of you. I think I probably have one. It's a picture of you because you do this shit all the time. Well, yeah, you can do like I can pixelate. I know how to do that. I can do that in Photoshop. I just don't know how to I don't know how to design a video game, but I can make something look like an old school video game, like just a picture.
Or just fucking lift a picture of the fucking video game up and just change the face on it.
To Tom.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, we
throw in a spam can.
Yeah, spam can's coming.
Although we'd have to, probably spam would sue us, so we probably have to like think of some other name. Like, what would be another name for spam that everybody would know it was spam, but you can't call it spam?
I don't know.
What spam stands for spiced ham, right?
No. I don't think it stands for anything.
I thought it was spiced ham. I thought that was the whole point of why they named it that.
No, spam isn't ham, and it's also not spicy.
I always thought that's where the name came from, though.
Maybe.
I mean, so
there's no telling.
What could they call it? No,
there's no telling where they got that from. Because it's not spicy. It's fucking salty.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Maybe we could do something with, like, the salt content.
It's pork shoulder, but it's not ham. It hasn't been cured. It was just cooked in a damn brine.
Well, it's ham in the sense that it's a pig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that reminds me. Somebody, I think it was on last Friday's show or the one before, somebody recommended the riff tracks. I think it's called This Is Hormel. Yeah, I totally watched that shit. Oh my god, that shit was hilarious. You probably should need to see it because it's half an hour long.
Yeah.
And it was Hormel, because they make spam, you know.
Yeah.
Among many other things. And this short, it was I don't know what year it was. It was probably the 50s. But the whole frame story of it, if you want to call it that, was these two boys who, for whatever reason, because they didn't have anything better to do, I guess, were super fascinated by Hormel and wanted to tour the plant. So they wrote letters to whoever ran the Hormel plant, and they let them tour the plant. And they, in this half-hour short, I mean, they went there. Every single, like, they show, like, the cow carcasses being skinned, like, pulling the skin off and, like, making the meat, paste that they put in, like, sausages and stuff like that. It's, if you're a vegetarian, it would probably, like, gross you the fuck out. But, I guess back in the 50s, everybody's just kind of like, ooh, meat. I wasn't grossed out that much, but I just thought it was, like, really funny because they probably wouldn't show that nowadays because people, like, we don't really want to show, like, where meat actually comes from because it's kind of disgusting. This is pretty disgusting.
Look, I know you people get upset about spam, and I've come on here as an advocate of the spam for a long time.
He's a spam-advocate.
Yeah, I'm a spam-advocate. And we got cookbooks and everything. I've made good recommendations on stuff, and you guys are going, yeah, it's pretty... Spam is a miracle of modern science. Okay, it helped the United States win the Second World War, and then after the war, it kept the Germans and the Japanese alive. We fed them with fucking spam until they could get back on their feet. All right.
And not eat spam anymore.
And not have to eat spam anymore. Okay, you got
it's a good
spam.
interim.
They're
food.
still eating spam on a lot of island nations.
They are
because they have problems getting meat at places like Hawaii.
Well, probably they got a taste for it too. I mean, I imagine.
And you have to understand, ramen. When you're eating ramen, right? How wonderful and sophisticated and foreign and Japanese ramen is. Ramen was basically designed to be eaten with spam. They'd cube it up and cook it and put it in a ramen. And ramen itself has no nutritional value.
A lot of calories, though.
A lot of calories, and it is an Eastern type food. Okay, but the Japanese wanted something to eat with that spam that we were giving them on government assistance. And they came up with a lot of good stuff. Egg, you know what I mean? They'd make like basically an egg omelet with chopped up spam and vegetables. And they toss that, and then they put it in a bowl of spam, and they eat that today. Okay. Here in the United States, you got hamburgers or French fries. In Japan, it's ramen, and half the time with spam in it. The flavored spam that you have now, and the low sodium spam, is a lot better than the original ones. All right. But you can't eat that shit right out of the can. You want to slice it like lunch meat, or you want to cube it, or you want to break it up and use it in a recipe. That's what it's for. But it's good protein, and it's not mystery meat. It's pork shoulder. It's pork shoulder, which that's a good cut of meat. I mean, it's not tenderloin, but it's also not assholes and snouts like a fucking hot dog is. Okay. I
still call hot dogs lips and assholes.
Yeah,
I think I got that. I think I got that from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
They said it was lips and assholes.
Anything you can't sell ends up in a damn hot dog or a sausage.
That's okay. Hot dogs are good though.
And so when you kind of, even though I love sausages, fucking German sausages, American sausages, Italian sausages, Brazilian sausages.
As long as they're not too like spicy or with too much of the, because like I said, it'll give me heartburn. I'm too old for that shit.
But if you compare a can of Spam to a sausage, a can of Spam is higher on the hog. Literally, it's higher up on the hog. It's pork shoulder, which that's where your taco meat comes from. That's where your roasts and shit, or what do you call pulled pork. It's that. The problem with Spam is that the original recipe was too fucking salty.
Yeah. Well, honestly, even the low sodium nowadays are too salty for me, and I'm not. And I like salt. I'm not saying that, but even the low sodium ones now are just it's too salty.
And it came from a time when
I can't eat pepperoni either. So, like I said, it gives me heartburn.
Came
it's
from
just
a time
too much
when they
preservative.
Weren't totally confident in the canning process, and so if you put a bunch of salt in it, you would help preserve it. So
then probably you won't die if you eat it. Right?
Yeah. You don't need that much salt. They didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
But the bacon versions are good. There's a bunch of... They have a chorizo flavor. They have a bunch of different flavors. And the price is right. It's just you have to know what to do with it. Slice it thin, fry it, eat it with eggs, put it on a damn sandwich. You use it you can use it in ramen. You can use it in... the Japanese use it in sushi rolls. There's a lot of shit you can do.
Yeah, I think Tila said that.
Yeah, so you can do a lot with it. And Hawaiians eat it. They barbecue it, eat it with pineapple, eat it on a sandwich, make a damn Hawaiian barbecue pineapple damn sandwiches and shit. It's good, you know. You just have to be creative with it. And but the best thing about it is that it doesn't cost a lot of money. It stores forever. If the hurricane hits and you lose power, you can still trust that you can eat the Spam. It was the original MRE. World War II. The World War II the English and the American forces were Spam powered. That's all they ate. Spam and crackers and fucking cheese whiz. And coffee. Instant coffee and chewing gum and cigarettes.
I mean, like I said,
ridiculous.
I don't hate Spam. If I had to eat it, I would. But I don't know. For some reason, it just tastes like salt and preservatives to me.
Salty.
That's all I can taste. Even the low sodium one, that's all it tastes like to me.
It's not much. There's not many preservatives in it. It's brine. I think there's mustard in it. Certain kind of. I think there was, and it's cooked in the can. Under.
Well, yeah. See, you should watch that. This is Hormel, short that's on Riff Tracks because it tells you exactly. Yeah. It shows you how they make the Spam.
Yeah, making can
among many other things.
Cooking it in the can is the best way to sanitize it because it's pressure cooked. And that vacuum builds up. It kills everything, and it also makes everything very, very tender. So you don't have to worry. And it's fast. It doesn't take long. I think the temperatures involved it's less than 10 minutes, isn't it? Did they say the cooking process?
I think they did, but I can't remember.
It's about 10 minutes.
Now I'm gonna have to rewatch that. Shit.
That's incredible for the amount of meat they're processing.
Coach Raylo says scrambled eggs and tuna is a great combo.
Yeah, also good.
You know what? I don't think I've ever had that, but that sounds really good.
It's good.
I love eggs, and I also love fish.
It's good.
So, well, shit. Now I kind of want that. Do we have any tuna? I don't think we.
I think I got some.
Do we?
If you want a good thing with tuna, what you do is you just go get the Badia curry spice mix. You can get a big thing of this yellow curry spice mix. You can get a big one for like $2. Okay. You take your can of tuna, you drain it, you put the fucking tuna in the bowl. You put about a tablespoon of that curry in there, and some raisins or craisins.
Craisins are better.
Yeah, craisins might be better. Some diced apples, green apples.
Green apples.
All right, and some mayonnaise, and stir it. And if you have nuts like almonds and shit, that too. And let it cure for about an hour, and then use it as a sandwich spread.
Goddamn,
and you will fucking love it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a
it's like a curry tuna salad. Yeah,
curry tuna salad. Jenny loves it. I showed her that. I
love it.
I showed her that. It's real good.
I mean, anything nuts and apples. I kind of feel like it has to have the nuts and apples in it.
Nuts, apples, raisins, and curry. And a little
craisins are better. Yeah, I don't like raisins all that much.
A touch of brown sugar. You can use white sugar, but just a ton of sugar. You want to get a sugar-salt balance to it, and with the mayonnaise. Mm-hmm. I remember there's a little bit of brown sugar, I think. I usually taste it and go, that's not sweet enough. That's not. So you want like a sweet, salty kind of a. I think I put that in the cookbook, didn't I? Maybe not.
I don't remember if we did tuna salad or not. I don't think we did.
But you can have that with lettuce and salad and vegetables, or you can have
sometimes because sometimes I'll just like throw some salad fixins into a bowl and then just like put a glop of that on top of it, or that's good too. Or you can eat it in a sandwich, which is also good, like on toasted bread. Now that makes me want some curry tuna salad. Ooh, we haven't had that in a long time. Actually,
I haven't had it in a while now.
Now that I'm thinking about it. It's funny, I loved seafood, but I didn't gain an appreciation for tuna until I got older. I liked seafood except tuna for whatever reason. I guess because it was canned, and I have a thing about canned meats. I don't really like meat that comes out of a can. It tastes weird to me.
Yeah, Tila says anybody put onions in the tuna salad. Yes, I'd put finely minced onions. I'd put anything in there, but onions would be good. Onions would be good in the curry tuna that I told you about. I would even put like slices of fresh cucumber on the damn sandwich.
Oh yeah.
With the curry and everything. So it's a bunch of stuff you could do.
To be honest, one of my very favorite, like very simple, very cheap sandwiches is a toasted bagel, cream cheese, salt, pepper, cucumber slices. Yeah, it's delicious. Delicious. And not super that many calories.
Lox.
Yeah. I mean that too. Yeah. Yeah, somebody said, DJ Maniac, Cooked in the Can with Bigfoot by Chuck Tingle. Yeah. That's his next fucking book. Yeah, Jeffy Art says you can put canned tuna in anything. Yeah, pretty much. And Victor says, eggs and fish, I've never thought of mixing those. I haven't either, but now...
Oh, no, we used to do it all the time.
I mean, I'm kind of intrigued. And honestly, I'll put eggs on everything. I like eggs on hamburgers. I like eggs in ramen.
We used to put hard-boiled eggs inside tuna salad all the time.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because that's like a tuna salad, egg salad.
Yeah, right.
Egg salad is another thing that I didn't like growing up. It's strange because now I'll eat pretty much anything. But when I was a kid, I was a super picky eater. And I didn't like anything that was like gloppy. I loved mayonnaise, but anything that was like chicken salad or egg salad or something, I was just kind of like, ew, it was like too much. I don't know why. I was like grossed out by even though I loved mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Like I would eat a sandwich with just mayonnaise on it. That's how fucking weird I was. I would also eat just a stick of butter.
Tila's asking me, she's been having a craving for tuna casserole. Do you ever make it? I know how to make it. I have made it many times. We haven't made it in a long time, though.
I don't think we made that for...
No.
Shit.
You remember...
9 or 10 years,
You remember
probably.
Betty Crocker's Tuna Helper?
Mm-hmm.
They had a bunch of different things that you could do with the damn tuna. And it would be done in a pot. I liked those. But you could also take that, make something like that. You just have pasta, and then you have your cheese sauce, and you have your tuna, or you have whatever sauce it is you're going to use, and you put that in a damn glass square pan, and cover the top of it.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
there it is.
it's back.
Cover the top of it either with like breadcrumbs and butter, or those little French's fried onions. You could put those on the top of it and bake it. It'd be really good. Remember the little fried onions that come in a can?
Well, everybody buys those now to put them on top of green bean casserole at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
you
put
kind
that
of
on
need.
Top of it, kind of
Do anybody buy those at any other time of the year?
I used to just fucking. I
mean,
used
I
to
guess
just
they
get
do.
them and eat them.
Yeah, they're kind of good just by themselves.
Yeah, they're just
I don't
good by
even like
themselves.
green bean casserole, honestly.
Yeah, I used to eat them.
I know that makes me like not an American, I guess, by certain standards, but because everybody like Thanksgiving, everybody's like, ooh, green bean casserole. I don't love it. Just saying.
Yeah.
I
I guess I ate it all at this time. Huh?
You did. I didn't eat.
Yeah.
I didn't eat a single bite of it.
Really?
I didn't eat
Oh,
any
wow.
green bean casserole. I didn't eat any cranberries.
Okay.
Mostly, I'm a turkey, potatoes, stuffing, corn girl. Pumpkin pie. I don't really like green bean casserole all that much. I don't really like the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows. I'm not down with that. I don't really like it. And I just kind of feel like I'll eat it, but that's a lot of calories.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like if I'm going to eat a lot of calories, I'd rather like have more turkey and more potatoes and more mayonnaise on my turkey sandwich and more stuffing. I don't really want like cranberries.
Sandra says she mixes fresh tuna with her salad all the time. Oh yeah, I used to do that also.
Oh yeah.
Make any kind of fantastic salad with fucking maybe that balsamic vinegar and fucking olive oil, toss it, have all kinds of stuff in there, fresh mushrooms, do kind of like an Italian seasoning on top of it, you know what I mean, with the oregano, basil, fucking parsley mixture, on there, toss it, and then put a can of fucking tuna in there. Toss, oh man.
And then
hard-boiled eggs.
And then throw a big thing of like slivered almonds in there also.
Yeah, well, she likes the almonds. I
like slivered almonds.
Sometimes I like it.
Because I like it's crunchy.
Yeah.
I like some crunchy shit in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just, I like a salad. I like a salad too.
Yeah, I do too.
But it's got to have meat in the salad. Chicken or fish.
I don't care about having meat in it, but it is good with tuna in it. I like egg in it, and I like nuts in it.
Yeah.
I don't have to have meat in it.
I like our hard-boiled eggs sliced in there, put in there, crumbled. And then you could do wilted spinach salad, fresh spinach with the bacon and the vinegar, and you fucking toss that shit, hard-boiled eggs in it. Man, it's really good. We haven't done a wilted spinach salad.
No, we haven't.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that shit.
I'll make some.
I love that shit.
Yeah. Gotta get the bacon grease. I got that good bacon down there. I can do it.
Bacon
Anytime
grease.
I get, mostly when I get spinach, I'm gonna make some Indian sag with it.
I mean, that's when we buy spinach.
Yeah.
I buy it every now and then just for salad because I prefer baby spinach in a salad instead of lettuce.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that better. It has more flavor to me. Iceberg lettuce doesn't taste like anything. So I like to get spinach for salad. But if we're buying spinach, we usually buy it because we're making sag. We're making sag paneer.
Yeah.
So, and you need like 3 or 4 bags of that shit.
Big two of them big tubs.
Yeah, because you have to kind of like make it into a, you grind it all up. Once I
buy this house, I'm gonna have a damn fucking island put in the middle of that kitchen.
Yeah, because we don't.
I'm sick of not having a damn island to work on.
Tila says, one meat I always hated was liver. I'm sorry, I cannot for some reason. Too gamey. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't mind a little bit of it. Like you said, the turkey gravy you make on Thanksgiving, you put a little bit of the liver in there.
Yeah.
But
just for seasoning.
It's just so irony tasting.
I got into it for a while. The army would give it to us, and it was like an option, and some dudes wouldn't eat it, and other dudes would eat it, and I'd get a bunch of it because nobody else was eating it.
I mean, it's very divisive,
with
liver.
a whole bunch of slices.
It's very strong.
It's strong.
It tastes like iron. It tastes like metal.
Yeah. It was beef liver, though, and it had been fried beef liver, and there was some gravy on the side, and once you kind of get a taste for it, you're like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And it's good with things like rice with the like Campbell soup mushroom gravy on the damn rice, and fucking some sliced fried.
So white trash.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what a lot of army food is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm laughing.
Soul food and white trash.
That's
food.
why I'm laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, it's like, well, I grew up white trash too. It's like we put cream and mushroom soup on fucking everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We made all our recipes with that.
That's just fancy as fuck. Put some cream and mushroom soup on.
Yeah.
But no, then we.
Come on, please.
It's back.
It says, okay, there it goes.
It's back. Okay.
Oh my God!
But
stop being a butthole.
I know.
Stop being a butthole.
Lost connection for a second. It's back.
We weren't talking though, because
No.
as soon as I saw it go red, I was like, shut up a second.
So we had British cooks with a lot of Israeli ingredients, and they would send us all kinds of really good shit. And fucking one day we had damn lobster day, and
I wish we had a lobster.
that
day.
only happened like that whole 6 months we were there. That only happened like twice. And a lot of these fucking dudes in the military don't have a background of eating things like raw lobster. They would look at that, and they're like, "Oh man, what is that?" Especially the inner city dudes. They're like, they're like, "Oh no, what is that? A roach?" I'm like,
It's a big giant
That's
roach.
a fucking lobster tail, man. Eat it. Oh no, I don't want that. So, but a lot of your Southerners, you know what I mean? Fucking white and black and fucking Hispanics fucking knew all about lobster. Okay, so we'd have fucking tables of dudes eating lobsters and all the other motherfuckers that don't have the balls to eat the lobsters. And the
Hey,
British,
more lobster for me. That's all I would say.
And the British cooks, like, guys, man, you got to come eat this shit. We had so many of them, and these guys aren't eating it, man. So they were just forcing more and more lobster on us. Each one of us had a whole fucking soup bowl of melted butter. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, and 2 plates. You had a plate for your empty fucking shells and another plate for all the fucking tails.
Yummy.
And I must have had fucking 15 fucking lobster tails. They weren't very big. They were the ones that this big.
Yeah.
God damn, that shit was good. And what was funny is
Man,
that
I love lobster.
I started to get sick of them.
I don't think I could ever
started to
get
get
sick. I
sick
can't
of
get sick of lobster or
just
shrimp or
eating
anything
them,
like that. I love that shit.
There must have been a whole fucking...
And it doesn't have a super strong flavor, to be honest with you. It's not like I said, it's not like liver, where it's just kind of like it just really hits you in the face with the flavor. It's very mild.
Yeah.
That's why people like dip it in butter or, you know, dip it in like horseradish or whatever, because it's very mild flavor on its own.
We gave up on the forks and knives because we had to make time to eat these things. We were just tearing them apart with our hands, taking the whole fucking tail, holding it in our hand and fucking scooping it in the bowl and eating like that, you know what I mean? We had enlisted and officer alike on that section of the damn chow hall, just doing nothing but tearing up fucking lobster tails. And then you had all these other guys, these non-lobster motherfuckers in the other tables going, man, y'all are nasty. Man, I can smell that from here.
Well,
man,
like I said,
y'all
more
are nasty.
for me.
More for us.
Fine with me.
And the British cooks just kept bringing us more and more of it.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Hey, y'all, keep eating. Keep eating.
Keep it coming.
We don't want to throw these out. We cooked them, but we thought you guys.
Oh, I'll eat them all.
Yo, they were like,
I'll
we thought you guys didn't like this stuff. I said, no, we like it, but what about them? We got to make it. So we had to eat like each one of us like 15 fucking tails. I was just fucking stuffed.
I could totally do that. Challenge accepted.
I left with lobsters in a fucking bag.
Mm.
Yeah, which you weren't supposed to do.
Well,
but they're like, here, you take it. Take it. Yeah, man.
If they're gonna throw it away,
yeah, they're gonna throw the shit away.
Thank you, Jeffy Art. I like your little like fucking little workout pair there. Little workout pair. Workout pair.
Mm.
Victor says liver is gross. It is kind of. I mean, it's just it has a very, very, very strong flavor. You either love it or you hate it. It's okay if like a little bit of it is mixed into something like gravy or something, but eating it by itself, like my grandma would do it, and everybody was just kind of like, ugh,
yeah,
man. She ate fucking calves, brains, and eggs too, though. So
Tila, and who is that? Gramthars are in there fighting over lobsters. Yeah, it's the sea's cockroach, but I don't give a shit. That thing's I'm gonna stay there with Tila.
I don't even care.
They are fucking delicious. They've got a delicious light flavor to them. The texture is beautiful. It's just this buttery pop explosion in your mouth of eating those things. And last time we had it was just a couple weeks back. We went to Red Lobster and they wanted so much for those things. They were good, but I was thinking, man, in the army they'd give me a whole fucking plate of like 10 of these.
We can't even get rid of these things.
Yeah.
Tila says, I wasn't raised on green bean casserole. My husband's family makes that.
Yeah.
I usually bring collard greens to their dinner.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
I think I would like that better. I'm not a big fan of green bean casserole. I know it's like I guess it's more Midwestern and Southern.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'll eat it, but it's gloppy. I don't like a lot of gloppy.
Collard greens is good. Also, I'm a big fan of what do you call the damn things?
I don't know.
Shit. Brussels sprouts.
Those are good if you roast them.
Fucking love them. Fucking love Brussels sprouts.
Don't boil them though, because it'll just make your whole house smell like farts, and they don't taste that good. But if you roast them, they are divine.
I like them either way. They just have I like them steamed Brussels sprouts with butter.
Or you could like fry them with bacon fat.
That's
good too.
Yeah.
And Sandra says feta on salad is great too. I agree.
Yeah.
Feta cheese is very, very
You know what
good
I've been experimenting with though? I've been giving it to Jenny, making frittatas. You know,
we just had one this morning. Actually,
had a frittata, and you know what I had inside that frittata? Cottage cheese.
Yeah.
It worked good.
It was pretty.
Good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
The moisture boils off, and you have these little tiny clumps of cottage cheese like feta, but without much flavor. But it's more protein. And they had a real good deal on cottage cheese, and I was like, I could do something with that. So I just been putting it in frittatas.
I mean, frittatas are like really good.
Yeah, frittata with Georgia sausages sliced real thin, fresh sautéed mushrooms, and
it had sausage.
Peppers.
In it.
Yeah, sausage, peppers, and mushrooms.
Yeah, and like bell peppers.
And bell peppers. I didn't have any spinach, or I'd have put that in there. I'd have put that too.
Was there tomatoes in it?
No.
Okay.
And then I just put a very large serving spoonful of cottage cheese in it. Kind of spread it out, and then I poured the eggs on it and just let it sit there.
It turned out really good, actually.
I thought it was good.
It was really good.
And then I seasoned it with Goya Spanish seasoned salt and and pepper. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Tila says, Sandra, believe it or not, there are peeps in the U.S. South who really like chicken feet.
Yeah. The Chinese like them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta say though, Tila, that's very ebony chicken feet. Yeah. And that and turkey necks. My dad would love them. There's not much meat on them.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying.
There's not much meat on them.
And somebody like later said, yeah, pickled pig's feet always sounded kind of gross. Honestly, the 7-Eleven that was next to
my dad loves them.
Yeah, that was next to my grandma's house or behind my grandma's house. They always had like a huge big jar of pickled pig's feet.
Yeah.
And pickled eggs.
Yeah.
Like on the counter.
The eggs aren't that bad.
Yeah, I would say, eggs, it's just eggs.
It's a hard-boiled egg, they pickle it.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I love eggs. But pickled pig's feet, not so much. I never saw a single person buying them, although my grandma loved those, though.
Oh, my dad loved them. And my dad, here, go ahead, eat one of them. And he'd give me another one. Eat that.
You're like, no thank you.
So I took it and started eating on it. They're just so goddamn sour. That doesn't taste like meat. You're pulling stuff, chewy stuff off of a bone and trying to chew it. It's like a pickled sausage. It's like that. There's not much to it. My dad's like, this got class. You know, he's like that. He's
I bought it out of a jar at a convenience store.
Got class.
That's super classy.
Yeah, at the damn gas station. Yeah, at the gas station. Here, eat that. You got a long way to go.
That's about as classy as that red underwear that's rolled up like a rose that they sell at gas stations for Valentine's Day. You forgot to buy your girlfriend something.
Smell good, don't it? Just throw it out the window. Just like throwing bones out the window and shit. It's biodegradable. Birds will get it.
That was like you and your boudin ball.
Yeah, like boudin. Well, that's some Mississippi shit. You're trying to get somewhere and all of a sudden you go, man, I forgot to eat. So you got these gas stations everywhere. And that's just the way it was. We got one up the street here. There are people eating out of that damn Circle K right here at the corner.
Although convenience stores nowadays have come a lot
better.
Way.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can actually get real edible food in convenience stores. Who knew?
What's funny is that in some cases, depending on what you're comparing it to, you can get a better meal dollar for dollar out of a damn 7-Eleven or a Circle K than you can on some of these greasy spoons that are at the side of the road.
Well, like I
charge
said,
you $20.
I mean, to be honest with you,
the food's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at a print shop that was like across the parking lot from a 7-Eleven. So sometimes, if I forgot to bring a sandwich or something like that, I'd toddle over to 7-Eleven on my lunch hour, and they had a perfectly respectable selection of fresh salads, fresh sandwiches. They had like little plates with like nuts and cheese and little apple pieces and shit like that. So they had a lot of like really good options. Also, I have to say 7-Eleven's coffee, pretty fucking good. Their iced coffee, pretty fucking good. They had some weird ass flavors going in there sometimes. Looking at you, Bananas Foster. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But honestly, of all the convenience store and to an extent fast food coffees, 7-Eleven's got some pretty fucking good coffee.
Somebody's asking a question down there.
Where is it?
And we got it. There we go. We got a super chat.
Oh, thank you again, Jeffy R. Quick question. Where did Tom get those awesome boots? I'm trying to find myself a pair online. Are those your...
yeah, these are New Rocks. Okay.
Your New Rocks ones.
Yeah, these are Spanish boots. A company called New Rock. And most of your rock stars and fucking motorcycle guys will wear them. These are the tall ones. And you're going to pay. You're about $350.
Yeah, I think those were $350.
Something like this.
But you've had those a long time.
I've had them. The thing is you buy one pair and they last forever. I've got 2 pairs of them. My other pair of shoes, and they're 20 years old easily. And they look brand new. It's all high quality material and real, like, leather. I think it might even be horsehide. It's something. I don't know. It might be cowhide. It's very thick, whatever it is. And it's called New Rock Shoes. Is probably what you could probably Google that, and then you start looking at their boots. And each year they have new stuff. You're gonna see weird shit like a bunch of metal spikes, bunch of weird laces, different kinds of buckles. You want to kind of, in my experience, you kind of want to keep it simple when it comes to new rock.
Thank you, Tila.
Things will tend to fall off over time on those real complicated ones. Okay, what did Tila say?
That Fight Club review was amazing. Amazing movie. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's an awesome movie.
Somebody mentioned us up above, too, but we missed it. Scroll up.
Also, well, DJ Maniac said, if you're on a budget and can't afford new rocks, I recommend Demonias instead. I have a bunch of pairs of Demonias. They're going to run you...
About 100.
About 100, depending on what they are.
Right.
And they'll last a while. They don't last as long as new rocks, but, they're cheaper.
New rocks can be repaired. Demonias cannot.
Demonias, like, you wear them for a year or two, and then you just throw them away and you buy another pair. You know what I mean? Yeah. So... I mean, some of them, it depends. The flats or the lower shoes that are not boots are usually like 60 to 90.
Yeah.
And then the boots are kind of like 100 to 150.
If you go with New Rock, you'll be in good company because all your heavy metal dudes fucking wear those. And Rob Halford has pairs of them. I've seen fucking Rob Halford wearing them. I've seen all your damn real hard metal bands, Slayer and shit. They're wearing that. They wear New Rock.
Yeah, and like I said, they are very expensive, but they're really well made, and if you buy a pair, they will last
forever. Pretty much. Now, like I said, some of the ones that are highly dressed up with lots of stuff on them, those little things fall off over time. The ones that look cool that have less on them, you know what I mean? Like the ones that I have that are just buckles down the sides. The little more simple ones, they'll last a lot longer. They're a little more robust. And they're really good for motorcycles, too. They are motorcycle boots, basically. They're copied after 1960s road racing boots, but then they'll put big, heavy platforms on them, which is kind of like what a stunt boot or what a cruiser boot would have. And then have big metal bumpers on the front and the back. There's guys that modified them with fucking flints on the bottom, so when you put your foot down on the ground, they'll make a bunch of sparks when you're riding. There's a bunch of different tricks you can do with them.
DJ Maniac says Demonias can be repaired. You have to find a patient cobbler is all. I've had it done, not gonna lie.
Okay.
All right.
Well, a lot of times
most of mine, I think that, like, the ones that I wore, I danced in them so much that, like, shit just started falling off, and I was just kind of like, oh, well, I'm just going to get another pair.
Yeah, the problems with Demonias for me, it was always not really... With her, it was the sole falling off. With me, it was always the high gloss vinyl starting to flake.
Yeah.
So they're not high gloss anymore. It's just some kind of a damn weird synthetic material underneath it, like a mesh looking shit, because they're kind of patent leather, and over time that starts to kind of buckle and fall off in flakes. That's what I meant by it can't be repaired, because it's not leather, it's vinyl.
Yeah, I mean, if the soles fall off, you can get that repaired.
All right.
Gramthars asked earlier, he asked some more, oh shit, okay, he asked some more questions earlier, but he asked more questions there, but he asked some questions earlier. He asked what favorite breakfast cereal.
Favorite breakfast cereal?
Favorite breakfast cereal.
Actually, I like Lucky Charms, actually. And
see,
that,
I only like the marshmallows. I like Frosted Flakes, but I like ones that have more shit in them. So I like Honey Bunches of Oats.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, I don't think they make these anymore. When I was a kid, my favorite cereal in the whole world was Waffle-O's.
I remember those.
Which was were maple flavored, and they were like super crunchy. Yeah. And they did some other ones like later on that were kind of like that, but it wasn't quite the same. Yeah. I like, if you're going to I like Frosted Flakes, but I don't like cereal that gets too goopy in milk. I like shit that like maintains its structural integrity. And I like stuff that has a bunch of stuff in it. So like Honey Bunches of Oats is good because it has slivered almonds and those like chunks of granola, but the flakes are kind of not really that robust. But overall, it's good if you eat it quick. I just don't like it to get soggy. I'm a big fan of Captain Crunch. No Crunch Berries, though. I don't like the Crunch Berries, and I don't like that chocolatey shit they put in there. I just like the plain ones. I used to like Cookie Crisp back in the old days. It's probably too sweet for me nowadays. But...
Grandpa's asking other questions.
That's what I said. Well, that reminded me, earlier that he'd asked some stuff earlier. What did he ask this time?
Well, they're saying the Fight Club, Victor, who was it? Hugo's saying that the Fight Club review was great. Thank you, pretty much. DJ Gramthars wanted other topics. Why the South lost the war? Why people in Georgia
Put salted peanuts in Pepsi.
My dad does that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very southern thing.
Who would win a cage match? Russian Spetsnaz versus versus Navy. What's that? Div Gru? I don't know what that is. How to make women listen and obey. Okay. If you want to...
We're not going to obey. Fuck off with that.
First of all, if you want to learn how to make women to listen and obey, you got to listen to an old African-American author named Iceberg Slim. Okay? Go fucking read some Iceberg Slim novels. Okay? He'll tell you all about how to make a fucking woman listen. All right?
We're not going to listen.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you don't listen to me, so why should I listen to you?
You have to be high up on your pimp game to understand to make a bitch listen. Okay. All right. Go fucking study Dolomite, Master Dolomite. All right. He'll tell you all about it. Okay. Now, what was the other one? I don't know the matchup between Spetsnaz and Navy, whatever. I've never heard those guys.
I gotta pee again. Hold on.
Okay. The other one is, why did the South lose? Okay. The Civil War, that last the Civil, we call it the Civil War, the American Civil War. It wasn't really a civil war. It's just been called that. It was actually a war between states. A war of secession. States were leaving the Union and trying to form a new Union. The reason why the South lost that one is because of the mentality of leadership of the time. It was conventional warfare mostly. And in those days, a war was kind of like based on something like chess. If you took the king, then you won. If you took a city, then you won. People agree. It was like a game. When an army took ground and captured a city, the enemy army would say, "Okay, you won. We surrender." It was more like a very conventional warfare. It was almost like sports. The South lost because it was fighting a conventional war, and it tried to win with honor. Because there's honor in conventional war in their thinking. This is very European style thinking, all right? It's not, and it's also not modern. Real war is not conventional war. Real war is asymmetrical war, which is what you would call today terrorism. And really what it is that you just continue to resist and to resist and to resist until somebody gives up, where it's a battle of willpower. And the examples that I point you towards are like every major war after the Korean conflict was an asymmetrical war or an unconventional war. And we lost them, all of them, basically. The only one I think that we won was the Panama invasion. That one. And also the island of Grenada. Even though you might want to say that those weren't conventional, the way that some of it went down. The South lost because it agreed that it lost. That's why. Had they said no and just continued to resist and done things that, say, like the Vietnamese did, or you do things kind of like the Taliban had done, eventually, and you do things that the American colonial army did to the British, eventually the North would have left the South alone because it's just not worth the money. You lose a war when you say you lost. It's like an agreement. It's crazy. For example, so what? China defeats our conventional army. They come into the United States. They start taking over all the damn institutions. They start making all the Americans obey the Chinese way. If the Americans obey the Chinese way, we lost. But if the Americans don't obey the Chinese way, fuck you, we're not doing this, and now you got to kill us all. and there's just constant unrest. Eventually, the Chinese go, "Oh, fuck it. Then you guys don't want to be communists. Fuck it. We're out of here. It's going to cost too much money." And then they leave, and then you win. Which that's what we did to the British. Warfare really doesn't have anything to do with these damn trinkets or these generals or this conventional bullshit. It's more of a game, kind of like fucking chess, you know? Really what warfare is just not giving up. And we got our asses beaten by the Vietnamese and even the Iraqis to a certain extent and the Afghanis because they don't give up. What are you going to do? Kill them all? If you kill them all, then they're going to say, well, this is genocide. You destroyed their culture. You destroyed all their people. So that's how you win. You just don't give up. You just continue to say, no, we're not going to do it. Nope.
I would prefer not to.
Nope. I would prefer not to do it.
Like Bartleby the Scrivener.
Yep. So all this bullshit, you hear people talking about, well, we have laser beams and fucking jets and fucking... Yeah, well, what good did that do us against Vietnam or Afghanistan? Those are all just trinkets. That's all bullshit. Those are all conventional weapons. They're used to neutralize a conventional army so you can get inside somebody else's country. And then once you're in there, you're expecting them to obey you, and that doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Okay? So that kind of warfare is a failure. It doesn't work. Real warfare is basically tribal. And that's what Apocalypse Now is about. What I'm telling you is not new. I had to see it myself personally. I've been doing that for a living. But now I fucking totally understand what Apocalypse Now is about. Okay? That warfare was really about cutting children's arms off because you inoculated them. That's what fucking Colonel Kurtz said it is. That's what it's really about. It's just no. No. And no is the fucking super weapon. That always wins. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay, I'm going back to the cereal question because there was some shit that I forgot while I was in the bathroom. Tila says, I grew up loving frosted mini wheats. Oh my god.
They're good too.
I still love frosted mini wheats.
I like the big ones too. Not the mini ones, but the big ones.
Yeah, the big ones are also good.
What were they called? Frosted on one side?
Well, they're not mini, obviously.
They were just called...
Are they just frosted wheats?
I think it was just called frosted. They were the big ones.
What the fuck are they called?
They were good. You put like 3 of them in your bowl, and that's a whole bowl. Put the milk on them.
Yeah, those are super good.
Remember they had the black dude on the front with his fucking chef's hat? That was on the front of it.
No, I thought that was a cream of wheat. That was a cream of wheat guy.
Cream of wheat? Was the cream of wheat guy?
That was a cream of wheat guy.
Okay, the cream of wheat guy, yeah.
Because I used to like cream of wheat too when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I still like frosted mini wheats. I don't buy them. Honestly, I don't buy that much cereal. We have oatmeal.
Yeah.
We buy those big flavor packs from Sam's that have cinnamon, apple cinnamon, and maple and brown sugar because I like that. So I have that for breakfast sometimes. Honestly, most of the time I don't eat breakfast. Gotta tell you. I do like cereal. I just never buy it.
Tila sent us some money.
Lord Hades says, "What's your favorite cheese?" Thank you, Tila. I don't know. Paneer, mozzarella.
There's just some
cream cheese. All cheese is good. Honestly,
all cheese is good.
I don't think I've ever eaten a cheese that I didn't like. All cheese is good.
All cheese has an application. What's Tila saying?
I want to know from everyone what movie performances by an actress or actor blew your ass away, but underrated, no accolades given. Ooh. That's kind of an interesting question.
Brad Dourif from fucking Exorcist 3. That fucking act that
Not a lot of people talk about that movie, and it's so fucking good. It's so good. And Brad Dourif, he's one of those guys that every time he's in a movie, you're like, we're in safe hands now because Brad Dourif is so fucking awesome. Right. Even when he's in shitty movies, like he was in kind of shitty Stephen King adaptation Graveyard Shift. It wasn't shitty, but it wasn't great. But man, he elevated that shit.
He also had a movie that was kind of like Terminator/Predator that he elevated the fuck out of it. What was it called? I've only seen clips from it. Everybody says it's fucking great. I want to get it.
Oh, no,
Mutant? No. What's it called? Robot or some bullshit like had
some generic ass title.
And I've seen clips of him just fucking chewing up the fucking scenery. and he's like the only celebrity in that movie. It's about some giant, ugly-looking robot with teeth eating people up in a fucking...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the name of that shit?
Yeah, they say that movie's forgotten and is great because of Brad.
Well, like I said, every movie that Brad is in is great because of Brad.
Yeah.
We love you, Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know he's like famous because of like he's the voice of Chucky and everything, but
To me,
he was in so many movies that if he wasn't in them would have just been like forgettable pieces of shit, but because he was in them, he just like made them awesome.
To me, he will
and
always,
I love actors like that.
To me, he will always be Mentat Piter Varese from the fucking Harkonnens, and I just like, man, that motherfucker just slam dunked that shit, that creepy bitch. He was good. He's real good.
I have a lot of respect for actors. I especially like, and I was thinking about this earlier in the context of, because somebody was talking about a movie that Elijah Wood had done. I think it was Come to Daddy, which is an excellent movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. We did a matinee on it a while back. An actor that made pretty much all the money because he was in like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to be in like a bunch of weird ass indie movies like I want to be in. And I really think that's awesome. Like, you know, because you could just be like in another boring ass.
Tila said I called it. Brad Dourif.
I mean, he's
Brad
like,
Dourif.
I love him. I love him.
No, you never, he's not a headliner, okay? They never fucking really put him to the forefront. But fans know when they see him, they're like, okay, all right, fucking Brad's in this movie. And he was...
this is totally worth watching.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad was the shit.
I mean, well, was he still alive?
He's still alive, yeah.
Yeah, he's around.
I'm just talking about his past work. That he's the shit. Like, yeah.
Mango says Doug McClure in Humanoids from the Deep. Oh, that's another good pick. I like Doug McClure. He's kind of a cheese dick, but in the best possible way. You know what I mean? He was in all those kind of like was like Journey to the Center of the Earth type of movies.
Yeah.
What was that one where they like had that real phallic ship and they like went down to the middle of the earth and fucking Caroline Munro was in it.
Yeah, I love that movie. Caroline Munro, that's another one that we're not going to... I could do a whole episode on Caroline Munro. And my growing up being in love with Caroline Munro and fucking how amazing that woman was and how she looked through the eyes of a 7-year-old boy who got taken to the movie theaters by Kimmy, his babysitter, who looked just like Princess Leia. All right, it was hog heaven, but that movie was called At Earth's Core.
There you go.
At Earth's Core.
I said I know it's not Journey to the Center of the Earth,
British
something
flick,
like that.
Badass British flick. It was good. At Earth's
Peter
Core.
Cushing was in it too.
Peter Cushing. Yeah.
Peter Cushing was in it too.
Yeah, and Caroline Munro and her cleavage were in the movie.
Well, I kind of feel like whenever Caroline Munro's in it, it's just that's unspoken. That also and her cleavage, and also starring Caroline Munro's cleavage.
Yeah, she was in fucking.
It's a double act.
Yeah.
They go along with.
Yeah,
they all go along with the thing.
She was in Star Crash too, and
That's
the
right.
cleavage was in there fucking through the whole goddamn movie.
Star Crash is just so interesting because that had that fucking.
Bad. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Bad, yeah.
It's terrible, but it's also like entertaining.
Yeah.
It also had that guy. What the fuck is that dude's name with like the fucking William Cat hair? That I'll think of it in a minute. But he was kind of like what's he some kind of evangelist or something like that? Yeah. And then he was in movies. What the fuck was that dude's name? Marjoe Gortner. That's what I knew. I'd think of it in a second. I knew it was like some weird ass name. Marjoe Gortner. Yeah, he was in that with his William Cat hair, looking like the greatest American hero. So, you know. I think I need another drink, actually.
I'll make you another one.
Okay. Brad Dourif played a serial killer in an X-Files episode. Good stuff, says Rick Shaw. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love actors like that. And in a way, it kind of bummed me out for them because... there's a lot of actors that I like that are kind of like character actors. I tend not to like big movie star type actors because once you get to a certain level of fame, like Tom Cruise, I know I bring this up a lot, but you're in a movie, no one's going to see you as the character you're playing. They're just going to see, oh, it's Tom Cruise, or oh, whatever, or oh, it's Brad Pitt, or whatever. Even though Brad Pitt is actually has been in some interesting movies and is actually like a good actor, which, you know, he was great in fucking Fight Club. And I kind of forgot that was Brad Pitt, to be honest with you. So, but I really I prefer actors that can kind of more disappear into their roles. Like, you still know who they are, but just their very presence elevates the movie. And like I said, Brad Dourif is a really good example of that, because you never think, like, he never comes to your mind, I guess, when you're thinking about, actors that would be in the movie. But whenever you see him in the shit, it's like, oh, yeah, that's the shit right there. He's, like, just making everything better. I mean, you know, kind of like the same thing with, like, Jeffrey Combs. Like, somebody like Jeffrey Combs, where, you know, you never think of him as, like, a leading man or anything like that. But every time you see him in a movie, he's always, like, really, really good and really interesting to watch. And I'm kind of more into people like that. I'm kind of like, I like the interesting actors rather than the kind of, like, famous A-list. Like I said, you get to a certain level of fame, you can't really be an actor anymore. You're more like a star. You can't really be an actor because you can't disappear into a role anymore because everybody knows who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I kind of have a lot more respect for, like, character actors. And like I said, I have a lot more respect, too, for actors that don't really give a shit. I mean, I guess, you know, in a lot of ways, like somebody like Elijah Wood, like, he made all the fucking money, like, with the Lord of the Rings movies, so he could just basically say, fuck it, I can just do whatever movie I want. But that's awesome, though, that he's just like, I'm set. Now I just want to do stuff that's fun or stuff that's interesting to me or stuff that's challenging or whatever, rather than just, like, pursuing more money. So I think that's, like, that's really cool. So I like when that happens. Mango says Margot Kidder in Superman, and also John Saxon in, John Saxon, I was thinking about him the other day, because, man, he's been in so many fucking movies. He was in a lot of Italian movies as well. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that, but he was also in Mitchell. Did you guys see Mitchell with Joe Don Baker? Which was the last Joel episode of MST. Mitchell. John Saxon was in that too. And honestly, I kind of love John Saxon in that. Oh, Pookie.
Yeah.
Look, Pookie's gonna be on a show. Yay! There she is.
Got Pookie pants.
Hi, baby girl. She's like, yep, just putting up with it.
She puts up with it. She loves that shit.
She does, yeah.
She loves that shit.
She was like, she's been really weird. Like, earlier today, I opened the bathroom door, and she was, like, down the hall, and she suddenly came running at me going, brrrr.
Yeah, making her fun.
And I was just kind of like, oh my God, what the fuck is the matter with
She's
you?
funny, yeah.
Yesterday morning, this is really weird. Yesterday morning, for some reason, I don't really know why, the power suddenly went out. Like, I don't know why. It wasn't storming or anything like that. Like, the power went out. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. So it got, like, super dark in here. Man, Pookie was, like, freaking out because she has a little water fountain, like, right out there by the door of my office. And it plugs in because, like, you know, the little water is constantly running, like, into the little pool. And she was totally weirded out by the fact that the water had stopped running and was trying to get me to explain to her what was going on, because the water stopped running, and then she comes up to me, she's like, brrr. Yeah. Like, she was like that, and then she ran over to the water fountain, like, looking at it, going, like, what the fuck? The water isn't running anymore. I was like, I know, Pookie, I don't know what to do. It's like
it broke.
She thought it broke, and she was just like, oh my God, what's going on? Something bad's going on. Yeah. It was, like, so funny that she was just like, explain it. Explain it.
T brings up some good ones. So nobody really talked about the performances out of The Lighthouse. Fucking that was a really good movie. I wouldn't watch it again, but I was fucking like,
oh my God,
what
so,
the fuck is
so fun.
Saw it in the theater, like, what the fuck is going on?
Robert Pattinson, that's another guy that he's going to be the new Batman. Yeah. And that's another guy. He was in the Twilight movies, so a lot of people shit on him because of that. But honestly, since he was in the Twilight movies and probably, like, made, like, $50 bajillion, and now he'll just be in, like, a bunch of weird indie shit. Yeah. Which is awesome. And he's a good actor.
Another one that T brought up was Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. A fucking masterpiece.
God,
I love that movie.
God, that movie was so good. That movie. I have never been as tense as I've, like... That was one of the most, like, fucking nail-biting tense movies
Sandler's best movie. If you guys haven't seen that one, see that one. It's about basically a Jewish gangster down in the damn Diamond District, fucking of New York, pulling all kinds of scams and fucking around with other people's money. All right, and it's just a fucking iconic flick. And Sandler knocks it out of the park, and Hollywood fucking booed him for that shit. I guess they thought it was anti-Semitic or something, but he fucking came in there and was like, "Fuck you, I did that shit." You know?
Well, I kind of feel like a lot of people were mad that wasn't.
Man, that was a fucking badass movie. He fucking.
Well, wasn't it nominated though? I kind of feel.
Yeah,
was
it
it?
was.
Oh yeah, I thought it was nominated.
Yeah.
I thought it was. It just didn't win. But you know, the Academy always gets it wrong. Well, not always. Every now and then they get it right. But man, sometimes I'm still mad about like some of the shit that's won. I'm trying to think of like what was the one that like what was that one year that movie was it? I don't know. Was it Forrest Gump that won over Pulp Fiction that everybody's mad about? I'm still kind of mad about that. That was 94, right? Yeah, I feel like that was 94. Cuz Forrest Gump was just like I kind of liked it when it came out, but I was like in subsequent years I'm like, "Oh my god, that's like so fucking boomer wanky." It's like I'm just like not even. Pulp Fiction, obviously a much better movie. Actually, there were a lot of better movies that came out that year. So, you know, than that one. But honestly, if you guys, one YouTube channel I really like is Dom Noble. And he does a thing called Lost in Adaptation, where he talks about movie to book adaptations and what they changed, what's the same. And kind of talks about how well it worked. And he did a Forrest Gump one. And I had forgotten, I read the Forrest Gump book like a long time ago. I remember like not liking it. I didn't buy it or nothing. I just like found it laying around somewhere. And because I'll read anything, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm bored. And like, I'll pick it up and read it. And I remember that book is batshit insane. All kind of crazy shit happens in that book that they probably wisely didn't put in the movie. But it was nice to be reminded of how fucking stupid that book was. But yeah, so that's the one I remember. I remember everybody being pissed off that Forrest Gump had won that year instead of Pulp Fiction. Or what else was nominated that year? Was The Usual Suspects that year? Somebody remind me. That was 94, right? I mean, also a better film than Forrest Gump. I mean, I kind of feel like all of the movies that were... I mean, I'm happy that Parasite won last time because I think that actually was the best movie. Although, I wouldn't have been mad if Uncut Gems had won because that was a fucking brilliant-ass movie. That was a brilliant fucking movie. Thank you, No Need For Me Too. Got first photos of paint being sanded off at 69 Fastback, so happy. Awesome. Victor says I'm going to start House of Leaves again soon. I gave myself 2 weeks, which is a long time for me, to reread it. Because, like I said, that's one of the books that you can't just, like, take it lightly. Oh, I'm just going to, like, read it in an afternoon or whatever. You really have to, like, fucking immerse yourself in it and, like, get involved. It's a very interactive experience. So, it's just such a weird ass. I just salute fucking Mark Danielewski for coming up with that shit because people are still talking about the fucking. Yeah, I got that.
You're way behind. Okay.
I'm not way behind.
Okay.
I got that already.
Right.
You weren't even in here.
I'm not in here. I'm coming up here to clean up the mess. To make sure that we're ahead.
He assumes that I had a mess because he wasn't in here.
I'm in here.
Yeah, I've been
seeing what everybody's saying.
I've been keeping up with stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Zach says, I stopped watching the Oscars after Hereditary got zilch, and I'm still mad. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like at least Best Actress should have been. I know, and I wasn't expecting it because the Academy, they're very, very, they still, even in this day and age, they still kind of shit on horror movies.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't fuck the Academy.
No, well, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it's just, I'm just saying that that's kind of what people are saying is that it's not really kept up with people's understanding of movies because I kind of feel like, yeah, we talked about The Exorcist, that was nominated for, Best Picture and stuff like that. It was a horror movie. But honestly, that didn't really happen again until 1991 with Silence of the Lambs, which some people argue isn't a horror movie. It's more like a thriller. But I don't know. I'd argue it's probably a horror movie. It's pretty gory. But I don't know. It's just, I kind of feel like horror, it's gotten a lot more respect over the decades, which I'm happy about, because it used to be just kind of like, oh, that's some dumb slasher shit, even though that's like a tiny subset. But even now, it still seems pretty revolutionary if a horror movie gets nominated for anything, which is kind of sad. Sci-fi and fantasy doesn't seem to have the same stigma, but horror still kind of does.
Yeah, Tina's talking about Kiss the Spider Woman. That was a good movie.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah,
God, that was good. That was fucking William Hurt, right?
Yeah.
William Hurt was in that.
It was about being in a Brazilian prison, and a Brazilian transsexual is telling a story to another guy in the cell
right.
with him, and it was just it was a good movie, real good. I haven't seen it so long. I need to see it again.
I remember really.
I liked it.
I
Yeah.
remember really liking that. I remember really liking that. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, Holy Parish of Doom says Seven was the only movie other than Hereditary where there's a palpable knot of tension throughout the audience. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I just kind of wish, I don't know if I kind of wish this or not, because being a big horror fan, I don't know if I want it to go as mainstream. I'm happy that it's more accepted as a legitimate genre nowadays than it used to be. Because I kind of feel like, man, even into the 90s, horror was still seen as some kind of like degenerate, or more geared toward teenagers. I don't think it was taken that seriously. It really didn't seem to be taken seriously until maybe like the 2000s, you know? So now, I mean, now you actually have like prestige horror, like A24 and stuff like that, that's doing like art house horror films. And it's almost kind of like a revamp of the 70s, but better, because now at least people respect the genre more, like to a sense where like this is actually like a good movie. It's not just like a good horror movie. Because I kind of feel like horror is, you know, and maybe I'm biased because I love horror movies and I always have, but horror is like the best genre. You can explore like so much fucked up shit in horror that you can't really get away with in other genres. You know what I mean? Horror is just like so diverse, and it's so, you can do a lot of shit within it that you wouldn't get away with in other genres. You know, you can go art house, you can go trashy, you can go, you know, you can go arty, and there'll be an audience there for it. So, I mean, at least in my experience, I do feel like horror audiences are a lot more varied in their interests, and a lot more, they seem a lot more like well-read, a lot more, you know, they've seen a lot more horror movies. They seem a lot more culturally savvy in the sense that they've seen a lot more different kinds of movies and know how they relate to the horror genre. I mean, just in my experience, I don't know if that's true for everybody.
My boy Khan is in the fucking comment section. He's gonna go eat a chicken taco, he says. Me. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Who is it? Zach said that he just got done watching Chinatown. He says it's a beautiful movie to watch. I've never seen that one. I don't think so.
It's good.
Jack Lemmon, huh?
What?
They have
Not
Jack
Jack
Lemmon.
Lemmon.
Who's in that movie? Chinatown. I was thinking of the China Syndrome. That had fucking.
But yeah, that's a totally different.
Yeah, well, you know, I want to see China Syndrome again.
Okay.
Remember that? Jack Lemmon?
Well, we could do a whole. Those two movies don't have anything to do with each other, but we could do like a China double feature. Even though those two movies are.
China Syndrome. That was another disaster flick, 70s disaster flick. That was Jack Lemmon and Jane Fonda, right?
I don't even remember.
The nuclear power plant melting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did I see that? I probably did.
I remember liking it as a kid. I had to see it again.
I told you, I saw so many movies when I was growing up.
It's kind of like Capricorn 1.
Okay.
Kinda like
I saw
Capricorn.
so many movies growing up. I probably saw it and forgot because I saw so many. Yeah, Mango's talking about, Angel Heart flopped when it came out. Great movie, though. Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of feel like, and horror is another kind of unique genre in the sense that sometimes a movie will come out, and honestly, I just recorded a review today. It's not going up for another week or two, or another week, of Ravenous from 1999, which was another movie that's fucking awesome, and yet, when it came out, nobody really got it. And so I kind of feel like it took a really long time. But that's a nice thing about horror. It's horror fans, too, at least real horror fans, not just kind of casual horror fans. They're more kind of inclined to, they'll watch old shit. Yeah. They don't have this thing, it's like, oh, that's old, I don't want to watch it. They'll like, look, if it's scary or gory or it has whatever you want to see in it, then they'll totally watch it and they'll totally discuss it just like it was a new movie. And I think that's like really cool. They seem a lot more open-minded.
Zach said that Chinatown was Jack Nicholson, actually.
That's what I said, yeah.
And he said he was actually sexy in it. And then I guess I mentioned something about China Syndrome, and then Tila jumps in and says it also had Michael Douglas in it. Great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the stuff Jack Lemmon did. Yeah.
The more info you're giving me about it, the more... Reconnect. Okay.
It's reconnecting. Okay.
All right, you're green.
For some reason, but it's about Jane Fonda. She's a investigative reporter. She goes to a nuclear power plant, and she's kind of like anti-nuclear in a lot of ways. And then there's a damn nuclear disaster, from what I remember, almost happens. They almost have, but it is diverted. And I think Jack Lemmon was in it, and who else did they say was in it? Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember really liking it. I thinking it was exciting at the day. It was kind of like fucking Capricorn 1, around that level. I want to see that one again.
Sorry, it's going right again. Don't do this to me. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You can do it, little stream.
Yeah. Let me turn my...
okay, Victor was not kidding. I guess he doesn't like old movies. Honestly, I like any... And this is the same for music, anything. I'll watch anything. I don't give a shit what year it's from. If it's good, I'll watch it. Just like music. I don't care what year it's from. If it's good, I'll listen to it. I don't give a shit. I kind of feel like we've come to a point in human history nowadays where we have so much access to everything that humans have created up to this point. And to me, it just seems too limiting to just like new shit. I like new shit. I like old shit. I like all the shit. Yeah. Honestly, there's good shit there's just so much good shit. Like I said, there's so much good shit. I know a lot of people like to like focus on like, crappy shit. There's a lot of crappy shit. I'm not saying that.
Some of that crappy shit's good.
Well, yeah, and like I said, well, and I'm kind of leaving that out because there's some crappy shit that kind of, is so crappy that it becomes good again, which, that's its whole thing. But I kind of feel like there's so much good shit out there that there's really no reason to complain. And especially nowadays, we have access to pretty much everything that's available that has ever been created by humankind.
Yeah, and this is a one of a kind in human history. No, there's been nothing like this before in the past, and don't count on this shit being available in the future. Civilizations rise and fall. We're here now. We're in the here and now. Watch these fucking movies while you can. All right, understand culture. Understand how good some of these movies were. Most movies suck in any era.
Yeah.
But in every year that movies were made, there were some good ones that fucking you gotta see, and there were some bad ones that you gotta see. Most of them are just bullshit. You don't have to worry about them. But there was some good shit that you had to see, and there's some bad shit you gotta see, for different reasons. Like I said, I've said it before. Velocipaster is not a good movie, but it's a great movie.
God damn it, I love Velocipaster.
It's a piece of shit, crazy fucking movie.
It warms the cockles of my heart. It's just so... There's something that's so heartwarming. Yeah. Is that a weird word to use? It's so heartwarming.
Well, it knew what it was. It was just...
It's just a sweet movie. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. But the only thing that bums me out about entertainment is that I will never live long enough to see all the movies I want to see and read all the books I want to read. I will never live long enough, and that like bums me out because there's so much. I have a huge list of books and a huge list of movies, huge list of like TV series, all the shit I gotta see, and I'm like missing out on like so much good content. Honestly, like nowadays, all the shit that's coming out nowadays, it's just like I can't keep up. There's so much good shit coming out, I can't keep up.
For you young whippersnappers, you have to understand something. this year there's going to be some good movies come out. But there's a lot better. There are more good movies in the past. Because those were already made. And there are no good movies in the future because you haven't seen them yet. You can't see them. So you spend most of your time looking at old movies, trying to find the
trying to catch up.
To catch up. Trying to find the really good movies of the past. And a lot of times these movies, each one of them kind of did different things. Like, okay, 3 Days of the Condor did not do the same thing as Midnight Cowboy. Those movies had two different jobs, but they were both great. And it's something that they should see. You can learn from both of them. I like shit you can learn from, even if the learning is humorous. Like I learned shit from Velocipaster. I learned stuff about the kung fu fucking scene and how ridiculous we were back in the 80s when we were under the influence of kung fu martial arts delusions back in the 80s when you were a kid. You're like, yeah, that's right. We did believe some stupid shit. But that's what that movie was for. It was to play with you about what you were like when you were a kid when you believed in ninjas.
Aww. Going back to that innocent time.
Yeah. Back when you read Black Belt magazine thinking that was a reputable magazine.
Like I could actually just touch somebody with my finger and kill them.
Yeah.
Holy Parish of Doom says Legend of Hell House and The Haunting at 1963. Two of my very, very favorite
Hell House was
horror
good.
movies of all time. Oh my god. Oh, and the book is great too. Actually, both of those books are great. Read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, 1959. And Hell House, Richard Matheson, fantastic book. Yeah. Both of those movie adaptations were really, really good. 1999, they made a remake of The Haunting, and it blew chunks.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit! Talk about missing the fucking point of the whole point of the whole point of the story. Just whoosh.
There was another good haunted house movie that was a low budget California flick from the 70s. Maybe early 80s, called The Evil. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And that movie has a couple of different titles.
It's very underrated, I feel like. That's actually a decent flick.
And I liked it. Fucking loved it. Saw it in the theater. Scared the shit out of me. Kimmy took me to see that one. And then another one was... what was the one with the Satanists?
You're going to have to narrow it down more.
The one where they all meet up in the mansion to get the gift from the fucking main sorcerer, and they fed the dude to the dogs and everything.
Oh, oh shit! What the fuck was that called?
That was it was a British movie, real good.
I know what you're talking about. The Legacy.
The Legacy.
I was like, it was a word. It was a word. It started with an L.
Yeah, that's another one. It's kind of like Haunting a Hell House in a way. A bunch of witches go back to this mansion in England for this big meeting, and you got some people that are there that are just Americans. They're just American as fuck. They don't know anything about what the hell's going on.
It's anytime an A on it. It's just Americans.
They're just Americans, and they're like, what the fuck are these British people doing? And it turns out that this is a damn witches' coven. And they're all kind of vying to fucking inherit the power of the fucking satanic fucking warlock master. And he wipes them out. It's a good movie.
I mean, you're going to give me this mansion and all the money and also magical powers. All right.
Right, yeah. It's called The Legacy.
I'm first in line for that shit.
Real good. It was like
just telling you right here. If anybody wants to give me that, I'm just saying.
I got it on Blu-ray. I fucking loved it. And Jenny'd never seen it. I showed it to her and she liked it.
I'd seen it.
You had seen it before?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't see that one. Okay.
Yeah, I'd seen it. I told you, I've seen everything.
Yeah. You didn't see the fucking loved one, though.
No, I hadn't seen it.
I showed her the loved one and she was like, oh man, how did I not know about this movie?
I've seen most things, okay?
Yeah.
I've seen 95% of things.
Yeah.
I don't remember sometimes. Sometimes I don't remember, like, and then I'll see it, and then I'll be like, oh, wait, bitch, I've seen this. You know what I mean? Because I saw so many movies.
Tila, have you seen The Loved One? It's a black and white movie from the 60s.
We did a matinee on it, like, not too long ago.
And it's
like a black comedy.
Yeah. It's kind of like the, Dr. Strangelove of the funeral industry.
See, and that's, like, exactly my sense of humor.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier about how I'm really like reluctant to watch comedies because a lot of them are not funny to me.
Yeah.
That was funny to me.
It's weird, yeah.
That was funny to me.
Yeah, and it was the kind of humor. In the 60s, it would have been more outrageous. But today, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's the way it really is. Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I can kind of extrapolate back to the time period when this came out. And I'm like, wow, this was like really subversive for the time that it came out.
Yeah.
I mean...
She'd never seen it. No, see The Loved One. It's black and white. Jonathan Winters is in it, who's fucking great. He plays like 4 or 5 roles in it.
I thought it was like... I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's like my sense of humor, though.
It's about this British dude who moves to fucking Hollywood to hang out with his gay uncle, and he kills himself. And they...
I mean, the gay uncle kills himself.
The gay uncle kills
not the
himself.
person, yeah.
And the body's taken to a place to have it buried. And he gets involved with this damn funeral business. It's a cemetery that has a whole fucking funeral business behind it. It's kind of like a cult, okay? And he falls into it because there's a real cute girl working there. It's all these cute proto-goth 1960s girls working in there as morticians and fucking all kinds of... And her name is Miss Thanatogenous. And fucking he's all into this Miss Thanatogenous chick. And the more he falls into this, basically it's a corporate funeral parlor. Mm-hmm. And the weirder it gets, you know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. And
it's
him
so
trying
weird.
To
I love it.
He's trying to chase this proto-gothic chick down this rabbit hole. And it just gets weirder and weirder. And then the space industry gets involved in it and everything. It's a good movie.
Shooting some remains into space. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Jonathan Winters plays like the fucking funeral home owner who's... Well, actually, he plays the director and the owner. Yeah. He plays like 4 or 5 different roles. And he plays the dude who owns the fucking space industry. The private space industry. Yeah. You just gotta see it. The Loved One. It's good. It's classic.
Honestly, I can't believe that a movie like that got made the year that it got made.
Yeah. And she had never seen it. I saw it on TV as a kid and it blew me away.
Well, you showed it to me and I was just kind of like, how did I not see this? Yeah. This is exactly... Yeah. I was like, this is all the shit I like in one movie.
Yeah.
In one movie.
Yeah, it is just weird. It's really weird. And it is hilarious.
Like I said, that's exactly my sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's exactly my sense of humor. I was like, I was down. Holy Parish of Doom says, check out the found footage flick, The Conspiracy. I've actually seen it. I actually did a review of it a couple months ago. Yeah, that's like a found footage mockumentary type thing. And it actually was really, really good. So if you haven't seen it, like, go check it out. It might be on Shudder or Tubi. I can't remember. I think I watched it on Shudder, but I don't know if it's on there anymore at this point. Because that was like a few months back that I watched it. Gramthars Hammer says... Ooh, I lost it.
Tila said that the fucking Loved One was already on her watch list. We must have talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it already.
We did. Yeah, we did a review of it.
Yeah.
Gramthars Hammer says, other topics. Do young goths of today understand the struggle of goths yesterday?
No.
No. Well...
They don't care either. No.
Well, they didn't have to do it. Yeah, so, yeah. And I'm not going to be one of those. I never, ever, even when I was a teenager, I told myself, when I get old, I'm never going to be one of those people that is going to be like, in my day, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do it sometimes. I get it. But I'm trying not to do that. I don't want to be that person. But, you know, the cultural context is much, much different. So they don't have to put up with a lot of the bullshit that we had to put up with.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, growing up in the 80s, no one really had a...
They didn't have a framework to understand what it was they were doing.
No one knew who Tim Burton was. Yeah. Nobody knew who Marilyn Manson was. Yeah. Nobody knew... Like, so nobody knew what that was about. Like, so you dressed like that, everybody just thought, are you a Satanist? Or are you doing witchcraft on me or shit like that?
And then Marilyn Manson came out, so they says, oh, you're some kind of weird sexual pervert thing like Marilyn
And then I'm
Manson.
not sure that made it better.
No, it made it worse.
It didn't really make it better.
It took a while for the old people to fucking retire.
I think I kind of preferred it when nobody knew what the deal was. And they just didn't know what your deal was. Yeah. I think that was kind of better. Once people started associating, because once Once I was walking through the mall or something in Daytona Beach, and somebody said Beetlejuice at me.
Yeah.
In the late 80s, I was just kind of like, oh dear, this is going to be like this from now on, right?
Yeah, Tila said that Phantasm is terribly underrated. Well, not only Phantasm, but all 5 of those movies are terribly underrated.
I loved
That's the best.
all of the Phantasm movies.
The Phantasm series is the most solid horror series out of all of them. Because Friday the 13th can't claim that. Friday the 13th, some of those movies were very weak. But every fucking movie out of all 5 Phantasm movies were made with love. They were pretty much I think except 3. 3, I think a studio did that, right?
No, 2.
2, is it 2? Okay.
But I would argue that even though a studio did the second one, the second one is actually quite awesome.
It's still good, yeah.
It's quite awesome.
But they were all labors of love by the singular vision of one man, and he also stars in those damn movies.
Well, it's not. Well, it's Don Coscarelli that made them.
Yeah.
Reg,
you're right,
is the dude that's in it.
But they were friends, though.
Yeah.
And so it's 2 guys, I guess.
Yeah.
It's 2 guys, yeah. Yeah, but no, great movies.
The thing about Phantasm is that it's just such a weird concept, and you can go in so many different directions with it.
We need to watch that one again. We need to refresh on that.
Honestly, of all the movie franchises, I think Phantasm is the most consistently good. I enjoyed every single Phantasm movie.
I think part of it was because it was horror fantasy.
Yeah.
This is involving other dimensions and weird shit and different
That's
rules.
what I mean. You could kind of so there was a lot of ways you could go with it.
Yeah.
You weren't like limited to, because Friday the 13th, you're kind of limited to, we gotta have Jason, he's gotta have the machete, he's gotta like slash up teenagers, blah, blah, blah. So there's only so much you can do with that, which is fine. But Phantasm, you introduce that supernatural element, which didn't work as well for Nightmare on Elm Street, because Nightmare on Elm Street also kind of has a supernatural, or at least a dreamlike element, which sometimes works really well and sometimes not. But I kind of feel like Phantasm is kind of its own thing. Phantasm, there are 5 movies, yeah?
5.
I think there's 5 movies.
Yeah.
Every single one of them
didn't really end.
Honestly, every single one of them is worth watching.
Yeah. The only thing that would ever come close in that genre would be Evil Dead, and all the offshoots from the Evil Dead, like the TV series and everything. Close. I think that's about on par. But there's something about Phantasm. It had its own special mix of fucking crazy. You know.
See, I love
it was his own thing.
Weird shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I love Phantasm is because it's just unapologetically weird.
Yeah. The little midgets from another dimension doing weird things with bodies, weird possessions, women not being what they appear to be, Reggie being a sex symbol. That was a what? Reggie's a sex symbol? Yeah. The badass car. And
oh my God, Reggie, I love your head.
Yeah, and then it ended basically with an apocalyptic motif that the world is now over, and the other dimension has now encroached onto this dimension, and we now have to survive. They're out here, and if there's ever a 6, they've left it to where 6 would be badass.
Well, see, like I said, I think that's the best thing about Phantasm is that it's unapologetically weird. They don't over-explain anything. They're just kind of like, yeah, there's midgets. Yeah, there's other dimensions. We're just like we're not gonna like discuss it at length. Okay. We're just gonna like let it lay there. And I think that's better.
Yeah.
It has this whole weird tone about it that I feel like has not been matched in another horror franchise in the same way. And, you know, like I said, I'm not averse to horror franchises. I'm not a big fan of, like, sequels and shit. I will watch them, but I can't think of another horror franchise that I've enjoyed every single movie in the franchise except for Phantasm. Yeah. Every single one of the 5 movies in the Phantasm franchise I have actually really, really liked.
Yeah.
Most of them are on Shudder, or they were. Because we watched all of them, like, in one night one time.
I think we have some of them.
Yeah.
But some people were saying that number 5, which is Ravager, was like fucking reviled. I don't understand why. I liked 5.
I liked all of them.
It just got crazier and crazier as they went. I mean, what happens sometimes in fandoms is that fans get fucking wired into one thing. They want the same thing over and over again. The 5 had the same cast, a lot of the same, and it was just becoming a little more modernized, in certain ways. They were trying to expand the story out, and it was probably going to be the last one. But I liked 5. I liked them all.
I did as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can say that for... Can I think of any other horror franchise where I can say that?
The Evil Deads
really.
are okay. They're good.
All the Evil Deads are good.
And all the spin-offs of that. I think that's the only thing close to it, would be the Evil Deads.
Yeah, that would be my second pick.
Right. Everything else, there's at least a flawed movie in there somewhere.
Yeah, and honestly, as much as I like Nightmare on Elm Street, I love the first movie. I love the third movie. I like some of the other ones. I like New Nightmare, the Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But some of those were kind of...
Yeah. I only liked the first one and the second one. Didn't the second one have little blonde, what's her name, the little cutie pie? One that was from True Romance?
No. That was the third one.
There was the third one? What was her name?
The Arquette.
Arquette, yeah. Patricia Arquette. She was so cute.
That was the third one.
Yeah, third one.
The second one was the one with all the homoerotic subtext.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like at the time, but actually rewatching it recently, I have a new appreciation for it. Although I will say that I didn't really like the first Nightmare on Elm Street was actually like pretty legit scary. Like it had like some really creepy scenes in it. I didn't really like the more comedic route that it went. I'm not shitting on horror comedies. I do like horror comedies, but you have to really have a deft hand to pull that off. I feel like most horror comedies fall more on the comedy side. It's a comedy, but it has horror elements in it, rather than a horror movie that's actually scary but is also funny. That doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, Bee's Nest just jumped in and goes, did they show the shot glass? Yeah, we showed the shot glass.
Do you want us to show it again?
We showed the shot glass.
Maybe people didn't show it again.
Yeah.
We showed it like near the beginning.
Right.
So, Tom's going to talk about this. I'm not sure, like, I don't want to get it too close to the camera because I don't know if they're going to, like, flag it.
Yeah.
Because it's
a shot glass from Tijuana. It's got agave on the front. It's either agave or weed. I think it's agave.
I think it's agave.
It's agave. And then you've got a Mexican dude falling down into the damn shot glass. His pants are down around his knees. Nothing but just fucking balls and cock fucking coming at you. So if you ever take a damn drink out of this shit, your fucking nose goes into his ass. That's the joke. That's the joke. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your as they would say in the UK, wedding tackle.
Yeah.
They call it the wedding tackle. And I was telling Tom earlier, I was trying to imagine a scenario
of how that happened
in which this dude would end up like this in real life. I can't really think of one. And look, it's Corona right there. Yeah. And it's kind of like stuck to it. Like no one's hanging on to it. It's just kind of like stuck to his thigh. I love it. But I think the reason that they did that was just that so you could drink your tequila shot or whatever like out of this and your nose would go right into his taint.
Yeah. Zachary says he wants one of those. Yeah. Yeah, and then they're also talking about True Romance.
Look at his little ball sack.
Yeah. True Romance was a fucking classic, man. I love that movie.
Love True Romance. Yeah, I love True Romance.
Christian Slater, Gary Oldman, Patricia Arquette. It was a good flick. And it was Quentin Tarantino wrote it. He didn't direct it, though.
Yeah.
Which might have been a good thing, because Tarantino probably would have fucked that one up, I think, a little bit in some ways, because the director who did this one kind of did Tarantino's material. He did it kind of straight. If you'd put Tarantino in charge of that shit, he would have gone crazy with it like he does with some of his.
I'm gonna cast myself in this just so I can say the N-word over and over.
Right,
it's super shocking.
Makes me cool that I can say that around these black dudes. Me and Samuel L. Jackson fucking using the N-word.
Look, I'm saying the N-word and Samuel L. Jackson is not punching me in the face.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah.
That means I'm cool.
I'm down with the brothers. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. Anyway, but no,
I like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I'm not hating on Quentin.
He's a spaz, but I love him.
We went to the same middle school together. He was a couple years older than me, and fucking he grew up working. This is in fucking Carson, California. All right, he went to, right down the end of Jackson Street, just out of Alameda. There, what was it? Dominguez Elementary School. That's where he went. He was a little bit older than me. I thought he might have been the same age as me, but I worked it out, the dates. He was older than me. I thought he was in my class, but he wasn't. But bitch, if you're listening to me, we went to school together. I remember you. But anyway,
I've liked all of his movies.
He worked at the video store at the corner there, right there near the Mexican restaurant where my dad used to eat all the time. He used to take me down there. Man, this is good. It's called a wet burrito. Yeah. Never heard of wet burrito.
Your dad was so cultured.
Yeah, he was cultured. Well, looking back on it, though, he was flirting with that Mexican waitress that was in there.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
She was cute. He was flirting with that Mexican waitress. And they had a damn wet burrito with the green salsa on there. It was good. It was called El Ranchitos? I think it was called El Ranchitos. Was the name of the place. I think it was. El Ranchitos. I think so. It was... right up the street from Dominguez Elementary back in the day. I could find that shit I could find it on Google Earth. If I would, Google Maps, I could go back there and
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah,
because somebody said, Matty P3400 says, saw a field in England last night. You were talking about Kill List and Ben Wheaton the other day. I'm going to get to A Field in England because I love that movie. So I did Kill List first, but I will do A Field in England. I have seen it, and that's a really good movie. So I just wanted to say that.
But he worked at the damn video store up the street. And that was over there near, back we used to play on the other side of the damn railroad tracks looking for them dead dogs behind fucking Dominguez Elementary. That's where they built that fucking...
Oh my God, you're just like Stand By Me.
Yeah, it's like that.
Look, I found a dead body in the railroad tracks. Oh man, let's all go look for that shit.
They had the fucking water pollution control factory and fucking, they had the shit where the giant ants from them live.
Yeah, let's go look for
They had all that shit
ants.
with Terminator jumping down in the damn motorcycles. It's where I grew up with fucking from that phase. And, but behind Dominguez Elementary, they built all those fucking things, and that's where Jesse James' fucking motorcycle shop was back there. And I think he was from that area. For all I know, I went to high school. For all I know, I went to middle school with him. I bet you, because I think he was from there. I have to go back there and look. I don't know what his real name is.
Zach says, Tom, you still have to get your dad on the phone and put it on the show to make him tell stories. I want to hear his real voice.
It sounds just like I told you it sounds, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds just like that. Yeah.
When he does the voice, that's exactly what his dad sounds like.
What is streaming? Streaming what? No, we're live, Dad. We're doing live. Are we live right now? How many people listen to? God damn. He'd be like that. God damn. You tell them about a chicken necks and say, yeah, all about turkey necks. Yeah. I thought I had turkey. Well, I need to call him one time.
Did you tell him that we talked about his whole turkey?
No.
Oh, you didn't tell him that?
I call him and say, I had to call him up.
We're safe. I don't think he knows how to listen to a live stream on YouTube.
No, he doesn't have internet.
Okay.
And I'd be like,
so we're all right.
He doesn't, not really sure what it is.
Oh, okay.
So we're okay. We're talking about you and the turkey necks. Tell him about the turkey necks. Huh? Who's listening? Who's there? He thinks they're in the room with me. He'd be like that. I don't know him. You don't know him? Nah, I don't know him. I'll tell it. You know, he'd be like that. I know exactly how he's on a system. He's there's an app. There's a Tom Ross Dad's app. You can kind of predict what he'll do. Yeah. Get him to talk about the Bible. They'll tell you how it's all true. That's another thing. Remember? I said, Dad, that's not Dad. He thinks it's all true.
Oh.
But he doesn't know much about it. He's just a man of his times. And he's frozen in the 80s, really. Frozen in the 80s. If you go back to where he lives, it's still the 80s, kind of.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Like, I kind of remember the 80s, but not really. And I lived through the shit.
Yeah. It happens. That's why it's...
Like, I remember the music. The music was good, but other than that, I'm just kind of like, what was it even like back then? I don't remember.
He's real comfortable with his friends in that house over there in fucking Heidelberg, Mississippi.
Cool. That's cool.
And nothing's changing.
I mean, you live the way you want to live. I'm not shitting on anyone's if you want to live like that, you can.
Were you heard Mr. Dad, you need to get some of that internet. And he goes, nah, that's all bullshit. Oh, is
that all porn on there?
That's all bullshit. It's all bullshit on there. He thinks the internet's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit on
Aww.
there. Yeah.
That's funny.
You can't change them. It's just the way certain people are. Although
that's sad though, because you're missing out on a lot of stuff.
When he came out, I showed him fucking YouTube, and I says, "What is it you want to know? What?" Because he likes guns. I says, "What kind of gun you looking for?" And he came up with some obscure early 1900 stuff, and I fucking pulled it up, and there was a whole video on YouTube about it. And his mind was blown. He's like, "There it is. That's it. That's it. Damn, that was on there. Damn, how much is on there? You know, who put that on there?" Like that, you know. Damn. So it's like he's moving forward into the future. You met him. He's like at another time. He's like at another time.
That's like, that blows my mind though, that there are still people. Like, I know because my grandma was like that too.
Yeah.
She didn't even want to touch the computer. She's like, I'll break it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
She didn't want to touch it.
Yeah. My dad was just amazed. He said, I don't know nothing about that. Okay. So he's just...
I'm checking out.
He can barely use a phone.
I'm checking out. So
he can barely use a phone.
But that's not everybody though, because I see old people all the time like using fucking smartphones.
It's his priorities.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's not in a cultural context where he has to.
No, he doesn't need any of that. Yeah.
I mean, from our point of view, even though we're old too.
Yeah.
I'm almost 50, but we grew up with computers. I mean, I grew up with computers.
Yeah.
Even though they were like Apple IIe's. And you had to like program them yourself. There was no Windows.
It's just the way guys like that are. That's how they go. You know, he had his time, and he's towards the end of his time, but he had his time and he did his thing and he's happy. So just leave it be.
I mean, I get that. I do get to a point where, and especially nowadays, because so much stuff, like shit's happening like so fast that everybody's just like, all right, I'm checking out like right now.
You're right, yeah.
But
information overload. Right.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also have to kind of like laser focus your shit. It's like, what do you want to achieve? What are you interested in? And just kind of like concentrate on that.
Right.
Don't worry about like learning everything.
Right. Well, that's the way he's doing. Because at his age, there's nothing he can do about anything that's going on. He's just pissed that he can't fish. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, Tommy need to come down here, because his friend Tommy Key. Tommy need to come down here and take me fishing. I got this thing on. He don't want to take me. He's afraid I'm gonna get a heart attack, and then I'll be out there at the water. And I said, if I die out there on the water, what difference does it make? I'm gonna die anyway. It's better that I die on the water out there fucking fishing. He don't want to be responsible.
Which that's understandable.
Yeah. His
you
friends
don't want to be out on the boat when like your friend dies.
Yeah, well, his
That's
friends won't
up.
take him fishing because there's a die while he's fishing, and they can't get him to the bank fast enough, and that's fucking pissed my dad off. He's like, fuck it. If I die on the water, then let me die on the water. I'm gonna die anyway. I totally understand what he's talking about. I totally understand. It doesn't.
But I understand his friend's point of view too.
Yeah, his friend's
Nobody wants to be like responsible.
That's what they don't want
for
to be
a dude that like dies in the boat.
You're right. Yeah.
When you're on the boat, it's
Because
this is the thing that we have to deal with.
Right.
Now.
Because I know exactly what would happen. Because Kay's fucking wife would be like, "You should have taken him out there." That's what had happened. Because they all got wives.
He knows exactly what's gonna go down.
I know all the people involved. You shouldn't have taken his ass out there. You know he's on his deathbed anyway. You shouldn't take his ass out there. That's how they are. And then they never live it down. Well, Tommy wanted to go out that way. These are fucking Mississippi country motherfuckers. But they're not dumb. They're not dumb at all. It's just that they're like the Ewoks from Star Wars. They have their own fucking way of doing things.
And like I said, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not going to shit on anybody for look, if you want to check out of shit and you just want to like, look, I'm just gonna do this one fucking narrow thing. It's like, you know, I'm old, I'm gonna die soon. It's like I'm just gonna do this narrow thing. This makes me happy. Then just do that. No, like, don't feel like you have to do some other shit. Like, don't make other people happy. Just make yourself happy.
I'd take him out there fishing.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should just go out there and go fishing.
Maybe you should go out and see your dad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I eventually have to.
I mean, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I probably should take him fishing.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day because
he's got all the stuff.
Well, I think I was thinking about it. I think I was thinking about it because as we talked about on our pre-Halloween show, you know, our friend Kaylee passed away recently.